Thank you, Mark. Yeah, on Cup final day, all of us here at Ewood Park will be watching the record winners of the FA Cup, Manchester United. And the likelihood is that by the first whistle at Wembley, United, for the first time in the club's history, will be out on their own as the record winners of the English League Championship title as well. However, opponents Blackburn are still just 3 points above the relegation zone, and Wolves and Blackpool, two of the sides beneath them, will be playing at the same time, 12:45 kickoffs. And you know, Jimmy, let me put this to you: should Blackpool and Wolves both win those games and Blackburn get nothing here, then it will become very twitchy again for Blackburn Rovers. So they have an awful lot to play for in this game.
Oh, they have. I made this point when I just turned it down there. The point is, you know, that they really could. Manchester United, I'm talking about now. I don't think they would have picked coming to Blackburn. You know, if they could have had a choice for a game. I mean, say, you know, you were looking through the season, you'd think, of course, they're a better team than Blackburn over a season. We know that. But in a one-off, anything could happen. And talking of the FA Cup, you know, Blackburn have got quite a proud record of the FA Cup. 1884, 85, 86, a long time ago, but they were one of the original Saliffa Cup. So, but this is a big day for Blackburn. Make no mistake, they know what's coming next Saturday.
Yes, these two teams have won the FA Cup 17 times between them, Manchester United and Blackburn Rovers. And I must say, Jimmy, it does seem slightly surreal sitting here on what is quite a cool afternoon, about to watch a league game with the FA Cup final to come later in the day. It really does not seem quite
I know
right.
what you're saying, yeah. But at this moment in time, this is the most important game. When this is over, then the cup final. Yes, it's one of those no-win situations, I know, but at this moment in time, this is the game that everybody's talking about at the moment. Unless, of course, you support Stoke and Manchester City.
Exactement. Here are the teams in full. Darren mentioned the changes. I notice Hernandez is just down on his knees doing his little prayer as Blackburn go into their huddle. Their team: Robinson in goal, Michel Salgado, Phil Jones, Chris Samba and Gail Givet. Midfield of Emerton, Jermaine Jones, Stephen Nzonzi and Martin Olsen, with Junior Hoylett and then Jason Roberts. And Manchester United's team: Kuszak in goal, at the back Fabio De Silva, Rio Ferdinand, Captain Nemanja Vidic and Johnny Evans, Antonio Valencia, Michael Carrick, Ryan Giggs and Nani, with Javier Hernandez and Rooney up front. Well, we're ready, and Ewood Park looks just about full. One or two blue seats empty in the Darwin end to our left, but Manchester United supporters, you can hear them in full voice in the Darwin end to our right. And Phil Dowd gets the game underway, and today could be the day for Manchester United that they reclaim the Premier League title. 1 point from this match will be enough for them to do that with a game to spare. So Manchester United getting the game underway in the red shirts with the white trim, black shorts, black and red socks, against Blackburn in the blue and white halved shirts, white shorts and white socks. And it is out to the right hand side to Valencia, who plays it back to Fabio behind him, and then it comes infield towards Michael Carrick, and now Giggs right in the middle of the Blackburn half plays it to Rooney. Blackburn yet to have a touch. They do now, because Rooney misplaces his pass, hits it straight at Givet, and Blackburn are able to stretch their legs for the first time in the game. But Olsen runs into Fabio, and Manchester United have got it back, and here's Nani now under pressure from Emerton, and then United through Carrick slips it forward to Nani, who's well challenged, and Blackburn have got it with Jason Roberts, who scored his first goal for 3 months in the draw at West Ham last Saturday afternoon. And then Hoylett is stripped in the centre circle, free kick to Blackburn, which they take quickly. And here is Michel Salgado, the old stager at 35 years old, the Spaniard. But it breaks down for Blackburn on their right, and Manchester United can play it away again. And they do, through Carrick, who goes for a long ball forward that Samba has to watch carefully. It bounces in front of him, but he adjusts well and heads it back to his goalkeeper, Robinson.
Yeah, he's had a good season for them, Samba. Big lad, real captain, really. I watched the highlights of the match last week at West Ham, and he'd be throwing himself in front of shots at goal and all sorts. He's really good.
Yes, I was there, Jimmy, and I thought he put in a towering performance that day for Blackburn Rovers. Not frightened to speak his mind. He had plenty to say, if you remember when Sam Allardyce lost his job here before Christmas.
That's right, yes, Sam Allardyce, of course. They brought him here, made a big difference to him, of course, as well.
And in actual fact, it was just after Sam Allardyce, it was just before Sam Allardyce lost his job, in one of the 4 games that he had under the new owners, that Blackburn were hammered 7-1 at Old Trafford by Manchester United. So there's some open wounds there to heal for Blackburn Rovers as the ball is played forward for Roberts, but Rio Ferdinand plucks it out of the air with his right foot and then hits a pass over towards this side to Nani. And now Johnny Evans operating at left back today. Evra is on the bench, incidentally, Patrice Evra. Rooney now, right for the ball, looking for Valencia, but Givet is across to make the header and put it out of play for a throw. Great atmosphere inside the ground.
Yeah, you'd expect it. I mean, people were saying to me when I was coming in, they said, do you think they'll both settle for a draw? I suppose at this point in time they probably would.
Yeah, I think they probably would. Carrick forward towards Nani. Nice flick from him, took it away from Salgado. Rooney's there near the left corner of the box. Evans was free. Rooney instead goes infield. Giggs attempted to give it back to Rooney inside the D, but I think it was probably just a little bit too congested. And Zonzi was able to step forward, take it away, but he's lost it. Giggs tackling back. Now Valencia to Rooney, just a little behind him, so Rooney has to check. And now Rooney again. Rooney's ball right in. Header hits the bar from Nani. What a ball from Rooney. And Nani with the header struck the top of the crossbar and bounced over the top.
Well, it looked comparatively easy from where we were here. He was on the edge of the 6-yard box. Lovely ball from Rooney, who started really well. And he was actually between 2 Blackburn players, Nani, there. So he got a free header at it and he's put it onto the bar. That was a real chance.
Absolutely pinpoint cross from Rooney. As you said, Jimmy, the 2 central defenders were only like a yard or so away either side of him, but it was right onto the head of Nani. As Ferdinand has to be careful here. Just got ahead to it, and the final touch was off Jason Robertson, out for what is given as a goal kick. So it's to Peter Slater, because there's been a goal at Blackpool.
Oh dear, Jimmy won't like this. It's Blackpool 0, Bolton 1, 6 minutes. Kevin Davies shot with the outside of his right foot after a free kick. Wasn't dealt with by Blackpool after the home side had made a very encouraging start. But it's Blackpool 0, Bolton 1, and it's an uphill task for them.
However, Jimmy, it's early on in the piece.
It's early on in the piece here, but with the home record, to be fair, about Blackpool has not been good all season. The away record has been pretty decent.
As far as this game's concerned, it's Manchester United who have I think it would be fair for United to call it a disappointing home record. Only 5 wins in the league away from home this season.
That's right.
Lots of draws, 9 draws.
Not a bad home record, though.
Home record, almost phenomenal. They've only dropped 2 points. That's been the strength behind this position that they're in. Very close to winning back the league title. Blackburn 0, Manchester United 0, and United could already be in front in this game through that header from Nani that hit the top of the crossbar. Here's Giggs, again in the central midfield position. Giggs, Evans gives it to Giggs. It's a 1-2. Evans didn't quite get it back. Samba was able to move across to his right and pop it out of play near the halfway line for a throw.
At this moment in time, Manchester United have got the bulk of possession, and Blackburn have a tendency, I think, just standing off them a little bit. They need to be a little bit closer in the midfield area. Giggs in particular and Rooney, of course, they're very confident players, banging form, the pair of them. You can't give them too much room.
It's 0-0, BBC 5 Live here at Ewood Park, with commentary on the FA Cup final and everything that surrounds it to follow. But attention at the moment on the Barclays Premier League. On what is a cool afternoon. I noticed one chap in the director's box in front of us has just stood up and put his overcoat on, and the trees on the bank opposite are swirling around. It is quite a breezy afternoon. We've had the odd shower, heavy showers. It's grey overhead at the moment, and Manchester United in possession with Nani, challenged by Michel Salgado. Really good defender's tackle. And then it's now with Jason Roberts, who runs from the centre circle but miscontrolled it with options ahead of him. 3 players ahead of Jason Roberts, and he lost it. And now Manchester United forward with Valencia. Roberts actually, in fairness to him, did get back and put in the the challenge on Valencia, but still Manchester United, and Rooney now fizzes a ball out to the right hand side. Valencia approaches the box but hits the cross straight into Give. Comes out to Fabio, and now Giggs back to Valencia again, seeing a lot of the ball in the early stages, Valencia, and now back to Giggs, right corner of the box, angles his pass to Hernandez inside the area, went for the chip, hit the defender with his arms up. Phil Jones bounced behind for a corner off him, off his chest. Back to Blackpool, Peter Slater.
DJ Campbell's just equalised for Blackpool. A header forward by Everett, flicked on, and Campbell outpaced the defender into the penalty area. Really good finish, chipped it over Jääskeläinen. We haven't played 10 minutes and it's 1 each between Blackpool and Bolton.
It's amazing the goals that Blackpool have been involved in this season, isn't it, John?
It is. Giggs with this corner then, here it goes, aiming for Vidic, and well headed away at the near post by Phil Jones. Comes back to Giggs again into the penalty area, danger here for Blackburn, but the cross is straight at Samba. Even though he was slightly off balance, backpedaling, was able to clear it away.
He did well to get it away, actually, because actually Manchester United are totally controlling this game at the present time. Blackburn are just standing off them, John, do you know what I mean? They're letting them play in front of them all the time. Now, whether Steve Keane has decided this is the way to do it, we shall have to wait and see whether it's going to provide a result for them.
They've also had an early goal at the Hawthorns. Dave Woods.
Well, West Brom are leading here by 1-0. Peter Odemwingie finding Sylvain Distin in a real tangle. Odemwingie got it past him, pulled it across, and Malumbu unmarked tucked it in. West Brom 1, Everton 0.
Another chance for Manchester United here. Nani, best part of 25 yards out. On his right foot, dragged the shot well wide, actually.
I'll tell you what they do well, Manchester United. I've watched them about 4 or 5 times live in the past sort of couple of months, and it's the mobility of the players, the way they, I know they're confident at the moment, but I think since they've got Hernandez just playing off the shoulder of the opposing defenders, I think it's given Rooney room, and Giggs and Valencia, since he come back, room to play in that area, and they've made the most of it.
Still 0-0, and
I like Valencia. I think he's a good player, John.
Yeah, and the fact that he is playing today means that he will qualify for a league titles winners medal once that eventuality comes about. Here Blackburn with it on the left hand side. Olsen up against Fabio, he's played it off him and the ball's bounced away behind for a corner. Yep. Corner to Blackburn.
I thought Olsen got his arm on that, but there again I'm 100 yards away. But anyway, Blackburn, a little bit of heart now. They've got a corner on the left hand side.
Emerton has gone across to take it, the Australian, placing it very carefully. Brett Emerton, real fixture at Blackburn. 8 years he's been at Blackburn now, Brett Emerton. He's just waiting next to those ever-changing electronic advertising boards. And Rooney in the middle, I notice, keeping a very close watch on Givet, leaning over him, in fact. Here it is then, the delivery. Dyer, headed away by Nani at the near post. Comes out though for Hoylett, who crosses it. Samba's there, but he's volleyed it over the top. Wouldn't come down for him. It was round about thigh height, and the big man swung a leg at it and sliced it really over the top of the crossbar comfortably. Didn't threaten the goal at all.
No, but it was a chance. It was a chance, actually. His kicking foot really should have left the ground. If you're going to volley that ball when it's coming at that height, your kicking foot should actually come off the ground. You've almost hit it sideways on. You've seen Rooney do it, haven't you? I don't know whether Samba's got that kind of mobility. Anyway, he's put it over the top. But Blackburn, a little bit of heart for them there.
I think, Jimmy, in that position, you'd rather have Rooney than Samba.
I would.
As Hoylett scurries forward with it, but Carrick was back with the challenge, puts in it. A very good, clean challenge, and the ball runs away through to Kuszak. No Van der Sar today, as was hinted yesterday by Manchester United. He is here, I'm told. He's in his suit. Ben Amos is the substitute goalkeeper, as Manchester United have it inside their own half. Darren Fletcher, by the way, is not involved again. That's their Darren Fletcher, not ours.
Not ours.
Ours will be involved later. But he is here. Darren Fletcher as well. He's got his suit on, having made only one substitute appearance in the last couple of months because of this virus that he's had. Could do with him in contention when it comes to the Barcelona game a couple of weeks from today. Here's Giggs for Rooney, and now Hernandez back to Rooney. Tried to play it first time to Valencia, just didn't get it quite right, Rooney, and Blackburn were able to clear it out for a throw.
Yeah, Givet was in a little bit of trouble there. I thought Robinson could have helped him actually come out and sat on that ball. I don't think that he should have allowed him just to play it out of the play.
United again. Giggs gets it back from Rooney, and now Giggs angles it to Hernandez inside the penalty area. Samba came across, watched him very closely, very tight to him, and just one little miscontrol from Hernandez, and Samba was in, cleared and put it out.
That's right. I'd rather have Samba there than Rooney in that situation.
Right. Here's Fabio De Silva now, back to Carrick. Gives it square to Vidic, and now again it's rolled over the top of the surface of this Ewood Park pitch to Evans on the left-hand side. Now Nani and Carrick. Manchester United absolutely dominating possession, and there's an awful pass from Vidic over Ferdinand's head back into his own half. I don't know what went wrong there.
We see where all the Blackburn players were, and that's just what it just concerned me a little bit. I'm pretty sure Steve Keane has told his players, try and keep yourselves goal side all the time. Don't get caught by runners, because Manchester United play this 1-2, particularly people like Giggs and Rooney. They'll play this 1-2 all the time. Try and stay goal side. So consequently, when Manchester United back four get the ball, they've got a little bit of time and a bit of composure. Look at Ferdinand now. He can stand still before he passes it. Yeah.
When Manchester United are in possession, which they have been for virtually the whole of the first 13 minutes, Blackburn are very 4-5-1. Hoylett immediately dropping back behind the ball as Nani is shoved over by Emerton, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, 10 or 12 yards inside the Blackburn half. Jason Roberts very much the lone striker. United lose it through Hernandez, and so Samba plays it up towards the man with the blue boots, Jermaine Jones, on loan from Schalke, and then he is easily dispossessed by Nani. And now Valencia forward from the centre circle. Rooney's available on the right hand side. He gets it. Rooney looks up and then pings out that pass towards the back post, and Salgado heads it back to Robinson, with little Hernandez not very far away, and Robinson had to be on his toes, but he was.
He did. Bit of risk, but actually a bit of composure as well, so give him credit for that. All those years behind him playing football came into fruition there.
Yeah, but Michel Salgado, I suppose you could say he got it right. He missed the game at West Ham last week, but he's fit today, and it's just been pointed out to me his hair seems to have changed colour since I last saw him. So,
is it?
Yeah, it does seem to have.
Mine's changing, John, as well.
Yeah. I noticed that a long time ago. Here's Fabio De Silva and Carrick now, middle of the United half. It's 0-0 if you've just switched on to us on 5 Live. Manchester United requiring a draw here to clinch the league title. Carrick in the centre circle. Just plays it now out towards the right hand side, and Valencia is there. Missed much of this season because of injury, of course. That is why he would only qualify with this appearance for a League Championship winners medal.
Yeah, I think since he's come back, I think he's given Alex Ferguson something extra on that right hand side. He's a very, despite his injury and so on, he's a very fit player. He's a terrific engine, and he chases back, works hard. I really like him. I think he's a really good player.
Giggs went for a really ambitious pass there. If he got it right, it would have been wonderful, but he slightly overhit it diagonally from near the halfway line out towards Nani, and it just beat him and ran through for a goal kick. So Blackburn 0, Manchester United 0, Blackpool 1, Bolton 1, Sunderland 0, Wolves 0, and West Brom 1, Everton 0 are the other latest scores. 4 Premier League games being played as we speak, and also Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 0 in the first leg of the League One playoff semi-final, which was also a 12:45 kick-off. And still Manchester United in control. Nani coming closest to a goal with that header that hit the crossbar. Jason Roberts loses out on the far side, concedes a throw-in that Fabio De Silva is going to take.
Somebody asked me when we were coming in, do you think there's been a change in style since Sam Allardyce left here? Well, there is a little, but it's rather personnel as much as anybody else, I think. I think people like Pedersen, I felt, were very important to Sam Allardyce.
Here's Jermaine Jones, but Rooney's in there as a white balloon appears on the pitch in front of the technical areas. Here's Nani away from Michel Salgado, who he fouled. Free kick to Blackburn. Another goal at Bloomfield Road, Peter Slater.
Hold your breath, Mr. Armfield. Blackpool 2, Bolton 1. Jason Puncheon with a lovely shot from the edge of the penalty area has given Blackpool the lead. If the scores stay the same, they'll go above Wolves in the table. We've played 19 minutes. It's Blackpool 2, Bolton Wanderers 1.
You've got Jimmy on the edge of his seat here, Peter.
Can we call this all off now? I think the thing is about it's astonishing. I was saying to John earlier, you know, the number of matches they've played, they always look as though they're going to score. It's I must be honest, there are times too they look like they're going to concede as well, but nevertheless I think they've been a bit of a plus I do to the Premier League this year.
Yeah, well, you would say that. Robinson, long ball into the area, but Samba, I think a shove from Samba on Vidic, and it's a free kick to Manchester United inside their own penalty area. But you're right, Jimmy, about Blackpool.
Yeah, pick on somebody your own size, Samba. It made Vidic look a bit small.
Free kick then, and Phil Dowd just wanted a word with Samba, so United were looking to take it quickly, but he's brought it back for them to take inside their own penalty area. 17 minutes played, it's still 0-0 here, and the ball finds its way back to Kuszczak, who was caught in possession by Roberts, and he was very fortunate there, the United goalkeeper, that Vidic was aware and alive to the situation, and he was able to get in there and clear it away. But that was nearly a major error by Kuszczak, and now as United look to bring it forward there, Rooney is pulled back, and it's a free kick to Manchester United, and Jermaine Jones it was with quite a cynical foul.
Yes, he pulled Rooney back there obviously, and the referee, he's going to caution him, is he? Surely not.
I'm just looking again at the mistake by Kuszczak on the edge of the area.
He was lucky. He was casual, John, wasn't he? Very casual. I think he's got it spot on. He was casual, and you know, you've just got to get that ball away when you're the last man. You know, there's no messing about. It was a real, I don't know, go to sleep time really.
Did Jones, was he shown the yellow card there?
Yes.
Jermaine Jones, he was.
Yes,
yeah.
He was. The referee almost apologised for showing him a yellow card.
That's 8 yellow cards for him in 14 appearances for Blackburn Rovers. He's no stranger to them. And here he is now, Jones, in the blue boots, who heads the ball away near the edge of his own penalty area, and then plays it through for the run of Emerton. And Emerton now, there's no one in the middle. Emerton goes for the chip, and it was never really threatening Kuszczak's goal, but he looked a little disorientated, and Blackburn still with it. Hoylett now with Rooney in front of him inside the penalty area, gives it back to Olsen. Olsen's chip right across the box. Emerton scores for Blackburn. Huge goal for Blackburn Rovers, still in trouble at the bottom end of the Premier League, and Manchester United behind. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0.
Oh yes, and full marks to Blackburn really for that. I thought Manchester United were caught when the ball came on the right hand side. It was a good run from Emerton that started it off. Nice little pass from Jones, put him on. When the ball went to the back post, Kuszczak, I thought he sort of half tipped it away. It came back in. They made the most of it, and Everton, about 8 yards out, hit it with his left foot straight into the back of the net.
Swept it in beautifully, Brett Emerton. Only his 3rd goal of the season, certainly by no means a regular scorer.
He made it look easy too, didn't he, John? He hit it on the half volley.
And having gone through initially himself, it was really that chip that Kuszczak didn't seem to know where his goal was.
No, you're right, you were absolutely right, John.
And as a result, he was sort of caught off balance, the ball stayed in, Blackburn came again, and then Olsen's cross led to...
Yeah.
And now we're just looking, and you know, we were going to make a point of this, about what would happen in amongst the crowd, with the feeling that a lot of Manchester United supporters are in amongst the Blackburn supporters, and clearly some of them seem to be making themselves known over there. Here's United with it on the right. Valencia whips the ball right across the penalty area and out for a throw-in. So 1-0 to Blackburn Rovers. And now there's a goal at Sunderland. Conor McNamara.
Sunderland 0, Wolves 1. Jody Craddock has scored with a right foot volley after Stephen Hunt's cross. Earlier, Zenden had hit the crossbar for Sunderland. It's Sunderland 0, Wolves 1.
So Wolves winning, Blackpool winning, Blackburn winning. If anyone from Wigan and West Ham are listening, they'll not be thinking much of this. And now a goal at Bournemouth in the playoff semi-final. Alistair Bruce Ball.
First playoff goal of the year has gone to Huddersfield. Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1. Gary Roberts' corner swung into the near post. Kevin Kilban leapt highest and headed it into the far corner. 5 Live summariser. Kevin Kilban scores. Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1.
And I think we should make the point. In fact, I'll make that point in a moment, because there has been, hold on to your hats, another goal at Blackpool. Peter Slater.
Well, this game's going one way, then the other. It's gone to Bolton Wanderers. Matt Taylor with a shot from the edge of the penalty area, which struck the inside of the post. Dilk's got a hand to it to touch it onto the post, and it went into the net. In between the goals, Blackpool have also struck the underside of the crossbar, but it's 2-2 now after 24 minutes.
Sounds like that might be one of those games. And the point I was going to make was, it's clear when Blackburn scored that goal, there is plenty of support for Blackburn inside this stadium. So, Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0 is the surprise scoreline that we have for you on 5 Live. And here is Darren Fletcher to take you through to half-time.
Well, if you're a Chelsea supporter, you've just now got that little bit of hope. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0. And in all fairness, Manchester United haven't really found top gear as yet. They're a well-organised team today, Blackburn. And United haven't tested Robinson, Jimmy, too much at the other end.
Not too much, no. They've had a lot of possession, but not enough really, what I would call at the firing end. Lovely play from Rooney and Giggs, the way they keep the ball, and Valencia, but no end product so far. I don't think Hernandez has touched the ball yet.
Forward by Carrick in the general direction of Hernandez, cleared away by the veteran Salgado, then flicked on the edge of the Manchester United box by Jason Roberts, and that's through to Thomas Kuszczak. Sir Alex Ferguson did indicate yesterday that he would rest Edwin van der Sar, and with the blustery conditions inside Ewood Park, Kuszczak, the young Pole, has looked anything but confident in goal for Manchester United, and he was at 6s and 7s really before Everton swept in the opener. Forward ball towards Hernandez inside the Blackburn box, tidied up by Phil Jones, this really impressive young defender for Blackburn. His clearance though only finds Fabio. Now Ryan Giggs midway inside the Blackburn half, out towards this left hand side, and Johnny Evans playing at left back today despite Evra being available on the bench. Nani on the left, yard in from the touchline, takes on Emerton, the goal scorer, flicks in the cross, it's Salgado, little nutmeg by Nani on Emerton. Nani now at the byline, runs out of room and then slips over, and he's got underneath the advertising hoarding behind Robinson's goal away to our left. The former Real Madrid man Salgado helps him back to his feet, and no harm done. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0.
Nice bit of play from Manchester United, but again no end product coming. It's good defending by Salgado. That goal from Emerton, it's just given them a little bit of spark, and Manchester United now know they've got a match on their hands.
The way results stand at the bottom, by the way, at the moment, West Ham would be 6 points adrift of safety with inferior goal difference with a couple of matches to play. Blackpool 2, Bolton 2 is the latest score. Sunderland 0, Wolves 1, and West Brom 1, Everton 0. And in the League One playoff semi-final first leg, Huddersfield 1-0 up at Bournemouth. We finally do have a goal. Don't forget, from 3 o'clock, the FA Cup final live on 5 Live between Manchester City and Stoke. At the moment, it's turning into a good start to the day for Manchester City supporters, because United trail here 1-0 to Blackburn Rovers with 25 minutes played in the first half. Kuszczak has the possession following a Blackburn throw-in, and United can build again from the back through their captain Nemanja Vidic. Ferdinand closed down quickly by Olsen, forces Kuszczak to clear up towards the halfway line, where Salgado wins the ball in the air. It will bounce through, and then a diving Vidic can head it back to Kuszczak inside the penalty area with Roberts behind him. It's certainly just rocked Manchester United a wee bit, that goal, Jimmy, hasn't it?
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. I think I must give Blackburn credit, though, the way that Olsen chased after it, after the good run through by Emerton. He stuck at it, and that's what really got Blackburn the goal.
Fabio moves in from the right touchline, finds a bit of room, the young Brazilian, flicked in towards Nani, might fall for Hernandez, swept away by Samba from the edge of the 6-yard box for Blackburn, and out for a throw into Manchester United on the far side. As they played from right to left in the first half, it's the Manchester United right. Throw in taken by Valencia. Back to Ryan Giggs. Giggs with a short ball into Fabio. Fabio flicks it towards Rooney, not enough power on the cross. And Paul Robinson, who was presented with one of the club's Player of the Year awards before the kick-off, is able to fall on the ball on the edge of his 6-yard box. It's a different game now for Blackburn, Jim. They were happy to sit off Manchester United and allow them the possession at 0-0. Now they've got something to defend, and that system seems to suit them now.
Yes, they do. And what they're doing, I mean, so you've got to give the manager credit, because what they did in the early part of the game was make sure they didn't get caught out by the players running off the ball. So in other words, when Manchester United got the ball, they all dropped off. And so far, it's worked well for them.
Long ball by Salgado, finds the chest of Hoylett inside the United penalty area, but both Vidic and Ferdinand descend upon him. The ball turned back to Kuszczak, and now Giggs has it just short of the centre circle. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0 on 5 Live, with 18 minutes to go in the first half. It's cold and blustery here at Ewood Park today. The floodlights shining brightly in the 4 corners. The trees gently swaying beside the Riverside stand on the far side of the field. There's a real nip in the air as well. Valencia to Hernandez. Not seen much of him so far, the Mexican who's been in such fantastic form in the second half of the season for Manchester United. Now Giggs to Hernandez, gives it to Fabio, back to Hernandez inside the Blackburn penalty area, forced wide by Jones. Hernandez still has the possession. Now Giggs out to Valencia with an opportunity to cross into the middle towards Nani, headed away by Salgado, picked up now by Vidic and out towards Johnny Evans, who can't control it, but he did manage to flick it in the general direction of Wayne Rooney, and then Salgado skies the ball out of play for a throw-in. There's certainly a bit more urgency about United since the goal went in. Now, they wouldn't want to take it to the final day, would they, against Blackpool, with the Champions League final almost upon them, especially when you think what happened on the final day a few seasons back, when against the odds Carlos Tevez won the game for West Ham at Old Trafford. They would like to wrap it up today, but they're a goal down, and they've conceded a free kick, United, just short of the halfway line after a clumsy challenge on Jason Roberts. Quite the spark about United that we've certainly seen in recent weeks, Jimmy.
I think the thing about them is that Blackburn have just given them a little bit of a problem, or the manager, Steve Keane, has, and all I'm saying is that they line up with 2 lines of 4, and they're dropping off, and they're inviting Manchester United to try and sort of chip it in. Well, they're not going to get much success really against the likes of Samba, the ball knocked in, and so far Manchester United haven't quite solved it.
Samba's gone forward for this free kick. Kiernan Zonzi provides some height on the edge of the penalty area, hit long by Robinson. Vidic beaten in the air by Samba, but Samba's header only finds Giggs on the edge of the penalty area, although Giggs doesn't clear very far. And Olsen on the left, that's gone out of play. It'll be a Blackburn throw-in, level with the edge of the Manchester United penalty area, leading by a 0 at the Darwin end of Ewood Park. All of those Manchester United fans who have got the top tier and the lower tier stand and wait behind Kuszczak's goal. Here's Hoylett, angle of the Manchester United penalty area, skips away from Ryan Giggs. A tackle comes in from Ferdinand, but Blackburn keep the possession with Jermaine Jones, and now the long-haired Salgado can stride forward from right back to join in. Emerton wide on the right hand side, dangerous cross headed away by Ferdinand from the edge of the 6-yard box. That was a good ball in by Brett Emerton, and a good defensive header by Rio Ferdinand. Now United will try and sweep forward. Nani to Hernandez on the left hand side. Hernandez with an early ball into the penalty area, bisects both Rooney and Ryan Giggs. It's behind for a goal kick. Jimmy Armfield.
Yeah, his idea was very good there. It just slightly overhit from Hernandez. He was a bit unfortunate.
Let's get the latest from what's turning out to be a goal fest at Bloomfield Road. Peter Slater.
It's a bit like fight night the last couple of minutes. It's still 2-2. We've had a bit of an altercation between Gary Taylor-Fletcher and Zach Knight, which almost ended up in a 22-man brawl. It's sort of handbags at 10 paces, really. Referee Andre Mariner is now having a chat with his assistant. Gary Taylor-Fletcher is on the floor. He's calling Zach Knight towards him. I thought initially Zach Knight hauled Gary Taylor-Fletcher to the floor. I don't think there was any contact between them, and the outcome is that Zach Knight's been booked. I think Taylor-Fletcher may well be booked as well, but it remains 2-2 on the field.
Thanks, Peter. Could be one of those days, couldn't it? As John mentioned earlier at Bloomfield Road, Sunderland 0, Wolves 1, a latest score from the Stadium of Light. That would take Wolves onto the magical 40 points, which would make Mick McCarthy relieved man. West Brom 1, Everton 0. The fine form of West Brom under Roy Hodgson continues. Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1 is the latest score in the first leg of the League One playoff semi-final. Here it's 1-0 to Blackburn. We've played 31 minutes in the game. Rooney coming forward down the right, tried to take on Samba, who I think is a far better player, Jimmy, than some people give him credit for. He can often look ungainly, but as a pure defender, he's very, very effective.
He's a vital player for them. not just in the air, you know. Rooney played the ball past him then, he turned quickly and he made sure that Rooney didn't get to the ball without fouling anybody, just ran in front of him, knows what he's doing.
Here's Hoylett for Blackburn, central position inside the Manchester United half. Now Emerton just outside the penalty area, faced by Nani, rolls it square to Jermaine Jones, and now Nzonzi, the leggy Frenchman, moves out towards the far side, which is the Blackburn left in the first half, exchanges passes with Givet. And now Jermaine Jones has the ball again. Diagonal ball out towards Hoylett on the right, too high for him. And it's out for a throw-in on the left-hand side to Manchester United. Goal at Sunderland, Conor McNamara.
Sunderland 1, Wolves 1. Stefan Sessegnon with the equaliser. Corner on the right-hand side. He met it on the volley at the back post. Sunderland 1, Wolves 1.
Only seconds after mentioning that might make Mick McCarthy relax a little bit. Wolves concede a goal. All the twists and turns at the bottom and the top of the Barclays Premier League, of course, on 5 Live from the BBC. The cup final to come from 3 o'clock between Manchester City and Stoke, and as soon as we have the cup final team news, we will bring it to you on 5 Live. Manchester United have the ball just outside their own penalty area. At the moment, if it stays like this, then Chelsea, if they can beat Newcastle tomorrow lunchtime, will take it to the final day, where Chelsea will travel to Everton and Jimmy's beloved Blackpool would be at Old Trafford, probably needing something on the final day to stay in the Premier League. It would be one heck of a finish. Long way to go though, although Robinson in the Blackburn goal is yet to make what you consider to be a significant save. Nani's hit the bar with a header. That's the closest Manchester United have come. Brett Emerton's first goal since December, separating the teams. Fabio coming forward from right back, the young Brazilian who's played so many games recently for them and done very well. Carrick into the penalty area towards Hernandez, who couldn't make it stick. It bounces off him and Jones can clear as far as Carrick again. Now Valencia on the far side. Valencia just outside the penalty area, takes on Jones, into Nani, little flick in the general direction of Hernandez, and then tidied up by Givet, and out for a throw-in on the far side to Manchester United.
Yes, nice little touch from Manchester United, from Nani there, but Blackburn defending very well at the present time. Not taking any chances, just played that ball straight away, just thumped it away.
Pretty raucous on the United end until the Emerton goal. It's pretty quiet in there now, just watching the game and seeing if their team can get back on level terms. A point is needed for Manchester United to win the Premier League and be champions for the 19th time. Vidic with nowhere to go, has to turn it back to Kuszczak, and they're just finding it difficult at the moment, are the Premier League leaders, to find any real rhythm. That's a full credit to the way Blackburn are set up and the way they're going about their business. Giggs into the box towards Hernandez, back to goal, shot on the turn by Hernandez, clawed away by Robinson at full stretch for a corner.
Yes, and that's the best effort really that Manchester United have had at goal since the header from Nani earlier on when he headed it against the bar. And in the end it was a pretty good save that by Robinson. Good shot by Hernandez on the turn.
Didn't quite catch it cleanly, Hernandez, no, which made it more difficult for the goalkeeper because it was bending away from him. Corner then to United on the left hand side. Nani comes across to take it, swings it in towards Vidic, headed away by Samba. It'll fall for Valencia, who can take a touch to get it under control. Quickly closed down by Jermaine Jones, who did really well for Blackburn there to make the challenge on the edge of his own penalty area to deny Valencia a path into the box. Now it's back with Fabio on the halfway line to Giggs. Giggs to Vidic, and then Vidic back to Ryan Giggs, who won his first championship as a Manchester United player at the age of 19, and on the day the club could win their 19th title, he could win his 12th on a personal level. Ferdinand out towards Fabio on the far side. Most of the attacking play for United is coming down the right hand side. Valencia level with the edge of the Blackburn box, runs out of ideas. Good challenge made out there by Olsen. Then Valencia tries to win it back. He's gone to ground. No free kick according to the linesman, and it's going to be a goal kick away to our left hand side for Blackburn, who lead Manchester United by 1-0. There's the first leg of the League One playoff semi-final taking place today. Huddersfield ahead the last time we were there. Alistair Bruce-Ball.
Huddersfield still ahead, big talking point. Bournemouth have missed a penalty. Danny Ings spot kick saved by Ian Bennett. Ian Bennett, the keeper, conceded the penalty, was only booked. Bournemouth felt he should have been sent off, picked himself up, dived to his right and made a great save. Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1.
Thanks, Alistair. Blackpool 2, Bolton 2, a latest score in the Premier League. Sunderland 1, Wolves 1 and West Brom 1, Everton 0. Just a pointer to tomorrow, Helicopter Sunday they're calling it, in Scotland. We'll have a commentary team at Kilmarnock against Rangers and Celtic versus Motherwell, so whoever wins the Premier League title in Scotland tomorrow, you will hear it on 5 Live. Those games start at 12:30. 5 games in the Barclays Premier League tomorrow, including commentary at 4 o'clock on Wigan versus West Ham United, which seems to get more and more important as every goal goes in the early kickoffs in the Premier League today. I think Nzonzi is going to be shown a yellow card here for a foul, so that's the second Blackburn Rovers player in Phil Dowd's notebook. Jermaine Jones was booked earlier, and not been that kind of game though, really, to what you might consider pretty soft yellow cards given out by the referee. Sir Alex Ferguson, of course, won't be commenting, given an FA charge for praising Howard Webb, one of the more perverse decisions of the football season. Carrick gives it away for Manchester United. Now it's with Emerton, midway inside his own half, nowhere to go, rolls it back to Samba, and then he hits it up first time onto the big barrel chest of Jason Roberts. Now Salgado, that was good play by Roberts. Salgado can run forward for Blackburn, deep cross into the penalty area towards Olsen on the volley. That was almost a fantastic goal. It flashes wide, the young Swede struck it first time, such a difficult skill, and Kuszczak was so relieved to see that flash wide of the post.
Yeah, it's lovely play by Blackburn, more direct. Manchester United are getting the frills, lovely 1-2s, exchanges and so on, but the Blackburn are coming a more direct style when they get it, almost playing on the break, and in the end it was a good volley by Olsen, just gone past the post.
United seem to have a bit of a problem on this left-hand side, because neither Nani, although he's in now, the flag's gone up on the far side, neither Nani nor Evans are able to be a factor going forward. Nani's now gone for goal after quite clearly seeing the flag up, a la Van Persie in the Nou Camp against Barcelona. On this occasion, Phil Dowd won't be showing a yellow card to the Manchester United player. Inconsistency, I hear you cry.
Yes. The crowd got at the referee there. He's already booked 2 Blackburn players. I thought one of them was a very soft one. But anyway.
So 1-0 Blackburn lead. Manchester United have won 8 of their last 10 against Blackburn. They drew here 0-0 at about this stage of last season when Valencia missed a 1-on-1, and in the end those 2 points dropped, effectively cost Manchester United the championship, because it allowed Chelsea to lose at Tottenham and still keep the destiny of the championship in their own hands. And it looks like a bit of a banana skin for Manchester United here 12 months on. All the talk in the build-up was about getting the point they need to win a 19th title. Of course, Blackburn are a team who need points to stay in the Premier League, and they've been playing much better recently under Steve Keane, as Kuszczak is caught in possession. Took an age to try and clear the ball. Hoylett got a block on it, and it's gone behind. What on earth was Kuszczak thinking about there?
He looks edgy. He looks edgy, Kuszczak, to be fair. You know, he hasn't done many games, and he's come into a match where there's a lot of pressure on him. And he was just trying to be too deliberate there as much as anything. But Blackburn, give them credit, they're chasing after everything and making it hard for Manchester United. Nearly were successful again there.
Far be it from me to question Sir Alex Ferguson's team selection, but it often baffles me why he would rest his goalkeeper with 2 games of the season to go, bearing in mind he's going into retirement after this. For a big game like this, Jimmy, where you've selected a relatively strong side, and you've got a goalkeeper at the other end of the field who looks absolutely rattled, and has done right from the opening kickoff.
Yes, that's right, I can only agree, but the point is...
Here's Evans with a floated ball into the box that's palmed away by Robinson. Valencia didn't get the shot in because it's headed away by Martin Olsen for Blackburn. Picked up once more now by Fabio on the far side. Rolled forward to Valencia. Valencia didn't cross first time, he's still got the ball just outside the penalty area on the right. Then he crosses, it's deflected, and it's gone behind for a Manchester United corner. Jimmy.
Yes, Blackburn have done well. The one thing they've done really well, and we've got how many? 5 minutes to go to the break, is that they've defended well in their own last third of the field. Very good, all the way around. They've worked hard, and although Manchester United have probably had slightly more possession around the field, they've not really created the chances. You've got to give Blackburn credit for that.
Kuszczak has walked all the way to the edge of the centre circle to have a word with Fabio, as Giggs delivers a deep corner into the Rovers penalty area. Header comes in from Vidic, and that deflects off the back of Samba, and it's gone behind for another corner to Manchester United on the left-hand side. He looks as nervous, Kuszczak, as a teenager on his first date, Jimmy.
Well, he doesn't get many chances, does he? You know, and the point is, of course, I made earlier, you know, he's coming to this, which is a very important match for Manchester United. Here they are now, they've got another corner.
Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0. 4 minutes to play in the first half on 5 Live. Corner swung in by Nani, headed away from the edge of the 6-yard box by Nzonzi, and retrieved on the halfway line by Fabio. He's got plenty of room to run into should he want to. Carries it forward, does Fabio, to the midway point of the Blackburn half, then plays it back towards Valencia. Now Michael Carrick, and then Carrick across the field towards Giggs, floated forward towards Rooney, and then cleared away by the Blackburn defence. Carrick to Nani, infield to Rooney, back towards Nani on the left-hand side, chase on for Givet. The Frenchman wins the battle, and it's gone out for a throw to United by the corner flag on the left.
Yes, there it was again, Blackburn covering. The ball was played behind Salgado, and Givet came right across over and put the cover on and got it behind. That's the kind of thing that Manchester United have got to deal with here.
Rooney to Evans, just outside the Rovers box on the left-hand side. Then Carrick to Nani. Nani will just put his foot on the ball. Rooney still in support to his left. Rooney's got it now. Rooney's cross, headed away by Jones, right in front of his goalkeeper, and flicked on a bit further by Hoylett. Carrick didn't head it particularly well, and Junior Hoylett's got it back again for Blackburn, and he can cross into the Manchester United half. Now Jermaine Jones, given away by Jones. That was sloppy to Fabio, and then he exchanges passes with Valencia. Fabio then plays the ball infield towards Wayne Rooney. Rooney to Giggs, running towards the edge of the Blackburn penalty area. Outside him is Nani, closed down quickly by Salgado. Nani makes room for the cross, chips into the middle towards Valencia, headed away at the far post by Olsen for a throw-in.
Yes, that was much better by Manchester United. Giggs again started it all off. Lovely cross from Nani to the back post. Blackburn just found that man again. This time it was the left-sided midfield player, Olsen, who got it away.
2 minutes to play in the first half. Throw into Manchester United. Blackburn leading 1-0 through the goal by Brett Emerton after 20 minutes. Giggs to Rooney, back to Ryan Giggs. Giggs into the penalty area. Good tackle by Givet. And then there was a challenge on Hernandez. Rooney tries the chip, and that's over the top of the bar. A fifth goal has gone in at Bloomfield Road. Which way, Peter Slater?
It's gone to Blackpool in the last minute of the first half. Charlie Adams had a quiet first 45 minutes, but he's just curled a beautiful ball to the far post, and DJ Campbell, the faintest of touches to take it past Jääskeläinen. That's his second of the half, and it's Blackpool 2, Blackpool 3, Bolton 2, and the place is going bonkers.
Thanks, Peter. Commentary on that game continues over on 5 Live Sports Extra. Just if you're wondering, Jimmy Armfield started chewing my nails as well as his own. It's probably better that you sat with us today, Jimmy, rather than being sat inside Bloomfield Road.
How long have you been using that nail varnish, by the way?
Only today. It's the weekend one. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0. Blackpool 3, Bolton 2, Sunderland 1, Wolves 1, and West Brom 1, Everton 0. Huddersfield still a goal up at Bournemouth in the League One playoff semi-final first leg. FA Cup final to come from 3 o'clock on 5 Live. Rooney to Hernandez in the penalty area. Very good tackle by Jones. Nani on the follow-up over the top of the bar from the edge of the penalty area. Not really got his shooting boots on today, Nani, but just one or two signs of United starting to soften up Blackburn.
That was a lovely move. Some really lovely football between Hernandez and Rooney coming down the middle, and when Blackburn got the block on yet again, it came out to Nani, who was just coming in on the edge of the box, and I don't know what he was trying to do there. I think he tried to curl it with his right foot. It must have been 10-12 feet over the bar. That was a chance.
Minute of injury time to play. Nani was in really good scoring form in the first half of the season, but he's only scored once since I think about November. He's gone 15 games actually without a goal as Nani. Into that minute of stoppage time that I just mentioned. Blackburn leading 1-0. Manchester United in possession. Red shirts and black shorts. Fabio on the far side. The right full-back, the young Brazilian today. Evans playing at left-back, although if it carries on like this for much longer in the second half, you would expect Evra, who adds much more going forward down the left for Manchester United, to be introduced. He has been warming up on and off during the first half. United have got the ball on the halfway line with Rio Ferdinand. Got to give so much credit to Blackburn for the way they're playing today. Rooney in the penalty area, tried to cross left-footed, charged down by Nzonzi, and then the Frenchman can't keep it in play. It's going to be a throw-in to Manchester United, about 5 yards away from the corner flag on the left. Rooney takes it quickly to Nani. Nani just outside the area, left-hand side. Back out to Rooney. Rooney winds up the cross, whips it into the middle, takes a deflection. Giggs controls, just about keeps it in play at the byline. It's rolled back towards Nanny. Phil Dowd blows the half-time whistle. Blackburn Rovers at the moment halfway to 3 vital points in the Premier League. Manchester United, Jimmy Armfield, have that champagne very much on ice.
On ice at the moment. A lot of possession, but Blackburn's defence, in my opinion, have been the strong point of this first half. They've played really well. I've got to give the manager credit for that, for the way he's lined them up. When the goal came, it was very good. Cross with some good work by Olsen on the left-hand side. And it was a beautiful finish by Emerton with his left foot. Kuszczak had no chance of saving that. He looked a bit edgy, I thought, the goalkeeper. Manchester United will have to improve.
Emerton's goal on 20 minutes. Kuszczak looks nervous for Manchester United. Nanny's hit the bar, but so far, Mark Pougat, Blackburn lead 1-0 and the day has started well for supporters of Manchester City.
Well, it's quite an incredible first half in the Barclays Premier League matches because Blackburn at the moment are making themselves safe. And what about this at Blackpool with Peter Slater?
Oh, I don't know where to start, Mark. Half-time score first of all then. Blackpool 3, Bolton 2. Bolton in front in the 6th minute through Kevin Davis. Curling shot into the top corner. 3 minutes later, Blackpool level. Fine effort from DJ Campbell, clipping the ball over the advancing Jaskalainen. Taylor Fletcher then headed against the underside of the bar. A minute later, Jason Punchin put Blackpool ahead. Fierce shot, edge of the box. 5 minutes after that, Matthew Taylor equalised for Bolton. His shot going in off the post. Then we had an all-out fight. A speculative shot from Kevin Davis, which cracked against the crossbar. And in the last minute, Charlie Addy, who'd had a quiet first 45 minutes, curled a perfect ball to the far post. And DJ Campbell guided the ball into the net. Cue mayhem. It's been like a basketball game. It's typical Blackpool. Every time they go forward, you think they can score. And every time the other team go forward, you think Blackpool might concede. It's half-time, it's 3-2, I'm going for a lie down.
And at the moment, Blackpool out of the bottom three because of that mayhem, Peter.
Yes, at the moment, because Wolves, we'll hear from Sunderland in a moment, but Blackpool will be above Wolves and out of the bottom three. But we still have 45 minutes to go and anything could happen here.
So at the moment, Blackburn are safe and Blackpool going out of the bottom three as much because of Connor at Sunderland, the news there.
Sunderland 1, Wolves 1. Jody Craddock against his old club put Wolves in front. That was midway through the first half. A right foot volley from close range. Stefan Sessegnon snatched the equaliser, which I think on balance of the first half Sunderland will feel they deserve. Both teams have hit the woodwork. Zenden for Sunderland, O'Hara for Wolves. Both players unlucky after very good strikes at goal. Sunderland 1, Wolves 1.
And sometimes, Dave Woods, you can't help it in life. You are just a bit of an addendum.
Thank you very much indeed.
Nothing personal.
It's not a bad game, this, given that there's nothing at stake. West Brom leading by 1-0 against Everton. The goal in the 9th minute, Sylvain Distin in a real tangle. Odemwingie took it past him and pulled it back for Mulumbu to put home his 7th of the season. Since then, Anichebe and Heitinga have both come close for Everton. At the other end, Jerome Thomas with an effort cleared off the line. Odemwingie with a header somehow kept out by Howard. It's West Brom 1, Everton 0.
And in the playoff semi-first leg down in League One, Alistair Bruce ball on the south coast.
Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1 half-time score. Huddersfield leading through Kevin Kilban's header. The big moment of the half, though, came in the 36th minute. Royce Wiggins upended by Huddersfield keeper Ian Bennett while bearing down on goal. Penalty given, but only a yellow card for the keeper, who then proceeded to pick himself up and make a flying save from Danny Ings' spot kick. Bournemouth felt Bennett should have been sent off, certain to be debated at the end of the game. Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1.
We're inside Wembley Way now. We can see on the big screen that the Manchester City coach is almost here. Gianluca Vialli looking impossibly cool in his sunglasses, sitting in one of the dugouts, the Manchester City dugout. And we'll talk about the cup final and the fact there are Premier League games as well with Mark Lawrenson and Mike Ingham after the news with Tom Sanders.
Online at bbc.co.uk/5live.
This is BBC Radio 5 Live.
The government is expected to include a written version of the military covenant in a new law. Until now, the covenant, which promises that soldiers and their families will be looked after when they return from service, has been an unwritten agreement. Teenagers have gathered at the scene of a murder investigation in North Yorkshire to pay tribute to a 17-year-old boy. Police say he was assaulted outside a pizza shop in Stokesley in the early hours. 4 people have been arrested. The Foreign Office says it's helping the family of a British woman murdered in Tenerife yesterday. The Spanish authorities say a 28-year-old Bulgarian man ran into a shop and attacked the woman with a knife, decapitating her. Reports that a British contract worker has been kidnapped by gunmen in Nigeria are being investigated by the Foreign Office. He's reported to have been taken along with an Italian in the northwest of the country. Both men had been working for a construction company. And Syria says it's pulling troops and tanks out of 2 areas where they've been putting down protests, including Darren in the south, after operations to restore government control. The regime has also said it'll start a national dialogue on reforms next week. And Louise has all the latest travel news.
Well, starting in Staffordshire, there's reports of an accident on the M6 toll at junction 5T at Wall Island. We're just waiting more information on that one. Bedfordshire, still very slow for the M1 southbound between Milton Keynes South at junction 13 and Toddington at junction 12, following the earlier accident we had further down towards junction 11. That has been cleared away. Surrey, one lane is closed on the M25 clockwise at junction 10 on the exit slip road there at the Wisley interchange due to an overturned car. It's at the start of the exit slip road, so the main carriageway is queuing on the approach. And in Bristol, one lane closed on the M5 southbound between Portishead at junction 19 and Clevedon at junction 20, that too due to an overturned vehicle. Louise Pepper, 5 Live Travel.
There's a new look to Sundays on 5 Live.
Tony Livesey.
From 9:30 in the morning, I'll be joined by a panel of guests as we tackle one of the big issues of the moment. That's in my new show. We're all in this together. Then at 11, join Nick Hancock.
The back end of next week.
The show that looks at the week gone by and looks forward to next week's potential headlines.
And in the evening, an old favourite returns. Men's Hour is back.
The cheekier younger brother of Woman's Hour returns from 9 p.m.
A new look to Sundays on 5 Live.
Welcome back to Wembley. Mark Pugac on the touchline here. That is the band of the Scots Guards. Always wonderful to hear them on Cup Final Day. Mark Lawrence and Mike Kingham with us as well. Mike, let's just start with the elephant in the room that we haven't discussed yet on the programme, which is the fact that there are Premier League matches today for the very first time on Cup Final Day. We've had Premier League matches after the Cup Final, but not actually on the same day as.
Well, it's not right, Mark, and I think if you scrape away, forget about all the personality issues and Premier League, FA and all that sort of stuff. If you just sort of sit back dispassionately, anyone who really cares deeply about football knows that the FA Cup final is sacrosanct, really. It should stand on its own. In fact, in many ways, the people who I think have potentially missed out today are the Premier League themselves, if Manchester United do win the title, because I think that will be obscured by what happens here between 3 and 5. The other thing that concerns me, and by the way, talking about not being able to fit it all in, imagine if we had this 39th game as well. Where on earth would that sit? The other thing is, I'm very concerned that this could be the last 3 o'clock kickoff as well in the FA Cup final. They're talking about playing at 5:15 next season, which is fine domestically. But the other thing about the FA Cup final is that the whole world traditionally sits down to watch the FA Cup final. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, you can do it. West Coast, America, the Far East as well. 5:15, it becomes a problem for the world.
Mark, I'll get your thoughts in a second because Ricky Hatton's standing by to talk to Mark Clemmett. Clem.
Yeah, in the Great Hall, looking right down Wembley way as the colours separate. Ricky, biggest cheer. I don't know whether you was obviously the Man United result getting read out from the City fans there. Did you speak to your mate Wazza this morning or did you text him?
No, I didn't. But that's a good omen, good start to the day, isn't it, for us? But I mean, it's great to be here actually. Wembley, seeing all the sky blue all over the place. It's been a long time in coming, and we've had a great end to the season, if you like, on Tuesday when we got in that top 4 spot. And if we can lift the FA Cup today, I mean, what a season it's been. I mean, we've been waiting so long to get to have these moments, and now it's here. We're absolutely loving it.
What's it like to be here as a spectator when you've been involved in so many great sporting occasions in the past? I mean, you're here obviously purely as a supporter following one of the sides and completely engrossed in it, obviously.
Well, yeah, I think the best way you could describe supporting Manchester City is getting knocked out, and that's the way it's been, for the last, God knows how many years. But I mean, to be honest, the support that Manchester City have had has always been fantastic. We deserve a little bit of success. And this season, at the start of the season, if you'd have said to me, that we'd have got in the top 4 and we'd have lifted the FA Cup, or even just been in the Wembley final, we'd have took that every day of the week, and it's absolutely fantastic. And God knows the Manchester City supporters deserve this.
Good luck. Enjoy your day, won't you?
My pleasure.
Thanks for talking to us. Ricky Hatton joining us live from the Great Hall, and as I say, the colours just separating there, Mark. It's a splendid spectacle without the top 4 involved. No favouritism, but you know what I'm saying? It's just nice to see something different.
I mean, It means so much. We can see both ends just filling up, red and white, and the blue, of course. The sun's out. Now, Mike, you've got some very, very significant team news for us.
Well, great news for Stoke fans, because we've heard that Robert Huth and Matty Etherington, who are both doubtful for the game, are both going to start. We haven't got the final team, but they're both starting. Etherington's their only player who's played in an FA Cup final and was the man of the match here in the semi-final. And Robert Huth, I always think, is just symbolises everything that Stoke represent, really. Fantastic at the back, and also carries a goal threat.
Mark, tell us, let's finish up on this subject. From the players' point of view, how you regard the fact that there are Premier League matches today, having played in the Cup final yourself.
Well, I think that the Premier League has severely missed out, because if today's newspapers are a barometer, it was all about the FA Cup final. In fact, I think you have to go to pages 4 and 5 in the sports pullout before you actually got a mention of the Premier League. And I know they obviously come up with different reasons. I'm a bit like Mike, and I always when you talk about the cup final, I go back to Dennis Bergkamp, where he said, it was one of the reasons, the major reasons he wanted to play in English football, because he used to, in Holland as a kid, used to watch the FA Cup final on a Saturday, like most of the world has done. And the fact that we can't find one day that's sacrosanct for the FA Cup final is probably a bit sad, and says a lot about the state of the game more than anything.
Yeah. And it's going to happen again next year as well, just to give you an advanced 365-day notice. Let's hear now from Stoke's owner Peter Coates, for whom today is a just reward for years of dedication to his hometown club. I caught up with him about an hour ago, and he began by telling me about his first cup experience.
I have this memory of a cup match against Hull. They lost 2-0. And Ray Carter played, a very famous England player who I used to idolise, and I got soaked. Took the day off from school, didn't dare go home, so I went to the cinema to watch All Quiet on the Western Front.
And little did you think that X years later, here you are as chairman of your hometown club at the FA Cup final for the very first time.
147 years Stoke have been around, and it's an amazing that we've never featured in an FA Cup final. But here we are. And let's hope it's our day.
Family day. Your little grandson's there, is he? Dressed up in his Stoke kit. Stanley, he's called.
Stan. Named after the great man.
Yes, quite right.
He's a good footballer, good player.
Winger?
Yes, he is. Wide player, they call him nowadays, don't they? Yeah. So he's following in his footsteps.
It's one thing, as you were proud to be a Stoke boy, to buy your club. It's one thing to do that once, but then to do it twice. Some people would say, was that a really wise move? Of course it is on a day like today, but that is a brave man to go back a second time.
Brave or foolish, I suppose. You can take it either way. As it's happened, it's about 5 years now, but this month. And, of course, we had a great 5 years, and football's wonderful when you're doing well. But it's a fickle mistress, as you know, and we have to make the most of it. But we've got a wonderful day here at Wembley.
What does it mean to the local area, to the local industries? When you hear about output going up 25% when the local team does well and so forth, and obviously the Potteries has really suffered in terms of those industries, but what does it actually mean? What sort of impact does it have?
I think it's given the area, Stoke doing well, an enormous lift, and you can feel it and smell it, and there's a great buzz, and everyone is so pleased at how well we've done, and the area today will be really up for it, and it's just going to be a great day. We want to win, of course, but there can only be one winner.
But that's the point, isn't it, Peter? It's lovely to be here, but you don't want to be here and just fall down at the last hurdle. Marvellous though the memories would be, nevertheless, of getting here. Yeah. Now that you're here...
Oh, we want to win, obviously. It's a great achievement by everyone to get us here, but you know what it's like. You're only remembered when you win, aren't you?
A final word about Tony Pulis. When you came back a second time, you insisted he come back for a second time as well.
I did.
Describe that partnership.
Well, I'd got great confidence in him, and I thought he could get us promoted on a sensible budget. And he's more than done it. And he keeps doing well. He's a fantastic manager. And his results tell you that, don't they? No, I couldn't be more pleased with him.
When Stoke City walk out just before 3 o'clock for the first time ever, the FA Cup final, what will you be thinking?
Oh, I don't know. I'll be nervous. I'll be worried about the game. Yeah, I'll be nervous.
Well, we wish you the very best. We thank you for your time.
Thanks. Thank you.
Peter Coates with me a few moments ago. Juliet Farrington, in her best handwriting, has written down the teams. Now, Mike, Carlos Tevez starts. That's what leaps out from the City point of view.
Yes, it's a huge decision, that, because for me it was not about... Well, I suppose they've made a pragmatic decision, but Carlos Tevez has made it quite clear over the last few weeks through his body language that I'm not certain he particularly wants to be at Manchester City. But they've gone for the man who's sort of been fairly iconic for them this season, scored all the goals. And you wonder, with Etherington, Huth and Tevez, they've all been carrying injuries. whether there are any gambles going on here.
Gareth Barry starts as well, who's missed the last 2 games, so that's interesting. 11 years after his first
Cup. That's not a huge surprise, but by the way, we should mention that Balotelli doesn't miss out. The fact that Tevez plays, we're just trying to get this team together here, but Balotelli is playing, so he's going to play alongside Carlos Tevez.
And just confirmation, Huth and Etherington start as well for Stoke. So let's go back to John Murray then at Ewood Park, where on the first of our commentaries of the day, there's a bit of a story already, John, so far.
Yes, there is, with Blackburn leading by 1-0, and we're ready for the start of the second half. Teams are out there, no changes here, so Blackburn with Robinson, Michel Salgado, Phil Jones, Chris Samba, Gail Givet, midfield of Emerton, the goal scorer, Jermaine Jones, Stephen Nzonzi and Martin Olsen, with Junior Hoylett behind Jason Roberts. And Manchester United, Kuszak in goal, the rather nervy Kuszak. At the back, Fabio De Silva, Rio Ferdinand, Nemanja Vidic and Johnny Evans. Antonio Valencia, Michael Carrick, Ryan Giggs and Nani, with Javier Hernandez and Wayne Rooney up front. So the second half underway. The rain is coming down again on Ewood Park, which means that the blustery conditions have just eased for a moment, and the ball, even though Olsen is running the ball away down the left wing for Blackburn, it actually had crossed the line and was out for a throw to Manchester United. So let's get a first word from Jimmy Armfield, the former England captain.
Yes, Olsen's a lively lad for them, isn't he? He was involved in the goal, he's worked hard down that left-hand side. I'm pretty sure Alec Ferguson has said to his players, you know, you're really going to have to step up your game a little bit in the second half, and they've gone for it right away. And
they were sent out a little earlier after the half-time break, Manchester United's players, as Blackburn have it with Hoylett, Olsen on the left, and the pass from Hoylett. I think he got himself into 2 minds there and hit it straight at Fabio De Silva, and it was a waste of a decent potential opening as Valencia slips over, his left leg gave way and he sliced it straight out of play. And I'm just wondering whether he might perhaps have done himself a little bit of damage, or perhaps he's just trying to cover up his embarrassment. Anyway, throw's taken by Blackburn and they lose it immediately, and Rooney now to Nani, and then Nani back down the line, but Jermaine Jones got there first ahead of Rooney and plays it away aimlessly really into the Manchester United half.
Yeah, well, the referee waited to see what happened there. Rooney fouled him. What he did, he pulled him back, he pulled Jones back, and the referee saw what he did. It didn't go anywhere, and consequently he's given Blackburn a free kick.
So 1-0 to Blackburn, and for anyone who's just switched onto us on 5 Live, you know, I would imagine many people around the country, Jimmy, will be surprised at that scoreline.
Yes, well, Manchester United, I thought, played quite well in the first half, but no real end product. They had 2 chances, one very good one, I thought, for Nani, which he headed onto the bar, and then we had a good save from Robinson from Hernandez. And but apart from that, Blackburn has stood the test very well and have defended exceptionally well. The manager's got them lined up and they've worked hard at it so far, and they've made it difficult for Blackburn.
As Carrick, I think, was caught there by Jermaine Jones, who has already been booked in this game, the 2 holding players, Jermaine Jones and Nzonzi. Just got to be careful, because they're important players today for Blackburn, who, while Manchester United have certainly had more of the possession, Blackburn have been happy to frustrate them, and crucially they scored the opening goal through Emerton. And as I mentioned, the Manchester United goalkeeper Thomas Kuszak has looked rather uncertain at times in these quite windy conditions. Manchester United playing from left to right towards all of their supporters in the Darwin end, in that 2-tier stand, most of them I would say standing watching rather than sitting on their seats, which I know is something of an ongoing issue. Carrick plays it to Rooney, heavy challenge from Samba, from behind on Rooney, no free kick. Rooney stays down holding his ankle, now climbs to his feet. United have got it back. Hernandez, Blackburn supporters have noted that Rooney is quickly back on his feet now. United are on their stride again, and here is Evans on the left. Michel Salgado slides in to block the cross and put it out for a throw.
Yes, Evans of course hasn't quite got the same thing at left full back as he has at central defence. That's not his position, but he's not done bad so far.
Throw from Evans to Rooney, back to Evans now. Carrick in the D, Carrick turns and shoots, blocked inside the box by 3 Blackburn defenders, and they get it away. Michael Carrick, who is yet to score for Manchester United this season.
It's incredible that, isn't it, when you think about it? But Manchester United started the second half quite well really. Blackburn have gone back, to these two lines of four. They're going to make it difficult for them.
Giggs plays it through into the box to Valencia. Now that's it's gone Blackburn Rovers' way. It's a heavy-ish sort of challenge from Give. The two of them came together, but the referee filled out, instantly gave it Blackburn's way.
It was a 50-50 one, that, John, I thought. It was a very difficult one. I thought, actually, that Give didn't get the ball. I mean, I'm not in the best position because I'm directly behind the incident. I thought Give actually caught Valencia's legs inside the box there.
I think what has resulted in it going Blackburn's way was the fact that Valencia just put up his arm as he came in for the challenge, and I think the referee's seen that and given it Blackburn's way. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0, but it was in the penalty area. And
I tell you what they're doing as well, Blackburn, John. They're prepared to have a little bit of a physical battle if they want one. If Manchester United want one. And of course, it's not easy for Manchester United just to put a centre over, because Jones and Samba at the heart of the defence have been strong in the air.
Some fascinating scorelines at the moment in the Barclays Premier League that we have, not least this one. Blackburn winning 1-0. The other game's underway in the second half. Giggs now plays it through to Hernandez, and he tried to sort of take it on the side of his calf and knock it into his own path and overhit it, and that meant it went through to Paul Robinson, who was able to pick it up. But that again was half an opening for Manchester United.
There was an opening, and Hernandez miscontrolled the ball. It was as simple as that. It wasn't a difficult one either. It was a lovely pass from Giggs. If Hernandez had taken that in his stride, he'd have been in with a real chance there.
And actually, that is his forte, the young Mexican. That sort of little touch like that.
It is. He's playing right on the shoulder of the Blackburn player, the Blackburn defence. Because he's got this terrific pace. But if things don't improve, I think he'll be. I think we might see Berbatov.
Yes, who scored, remember, 5 goals against Blackburn at Old Trafford in November. So 1-0 to Blackburn here. 1-0 to Blackburn. Here is Emerton, who scored the goal. And runs straight into Carrick, and Carrick strokes away a pass downfield, which is wonderful. Beats Salgado. Hernandez is onto it. Giggs on the overlap. Hernandez's touch wasn't heavy enough, and it was there for him to lay into the path of Giggs, and he failed to do so.
Well, what he tried to do, John, he tried to play the ball and move at the same time, and consequently, he did neither.
What's Samba doing here? He's on the right wing for Blackburn, and now Jermaine Jones chips it to this side of the field to Olsen. Wouldn't come down for him. He had to get right up and chest it down, and that gave Valencia the chance to come in and check him.
It's a good contest, this, John, isn't it?
It is now.
Really good contest. Difference in styles. Both teams got so much at stake. Crowd are all involved, and it's a very good match, this.
The second goal for Blackburn would make things very interesting. There has been a goal in one of the other games early in the second half. It's at Sunderland. Conor McNamara.
Sunderland 1, Wolves 2, and Wolves are back in front for the second time in the game. A Stephen Fletcher header just a few minutes after he missed a huge chance. Mignolet saved that one-on-one. He couldn't save the header. Sunderland 1, Wolves 2.
And while that happened in front of Conor, at Blackpool, Peter Slater.
It's twisting and turning in minutes, isn't it, John? It's 3-3 here now. Chong Yong Lee made good progress down the right flank for Bolton and crossed it, and Daniel Sturridge had the easiest of headers 3 yards out. It's 3-3, and it could still go any way, this one.
And that game, the commentary on that game is over on 5 Live Sports Extra on digital radio. Still West Brom 1, Everton 0, Bournemouth 0, Huddersfield 1. But the way the scores are at the moment, the bottom 3 would remain the same as they were this morning. And remember, Wigan against West Ham is our 4 o'clock commentary match on 5 Live tomorrow. 1-0 to Blackburn here. Long ball forward from Robinson, a free kick aiming at Samba. Give turns it back in, and it's headed away by Carrick inside the penalty area. Chelsea playing Newcastle tomorrow. We'll have news of that during the course of 5 Live Sport tomorrow afternoon. And here's Fabio now away down the right-hand side for Manchester United, but Jermaine Jones comes across and just flicks the ball away out of play for a throw-in.
He's played well for Blackburn, Jermaine Jones. The amount of ground he's covered, defensive work in the middle of the field, extremely good.
So that's the picture as far as the 12:45 kickoffs go. And if you have just switched on and haven't heard the team news ahead of the FA Cup final, for Manchester City, Tevez starts the match, and Stoke, I'll tell you in a moment, because here's Valencia crossing towards Hernandez, who very nearly touched it back to Giggs. And Zonzi came in to nip it away, and now Blackburn on the counter-attack, but Hoylett's ball over the top. There's no way Jason Roberts is reaching that, and Vidic has had to play it back to Kuszak, and the crowd are onto the Manchester United goalkeeper, but this time his touch was sure enough, and Manchester United have got it back.
Yes.
And the news on Stoke, Jimmy, just to repeat it or tell you if you haven't heard it, Etherington and Huth are both in the Stoke City starting lineup. So they were the main talking points in terms of the team news. Tevez, Etherington, Huth will all start it, and you'll hear it in full here on 5 Live, plus all of the aftermath as well. Here's Fabio, now crossing from the right for Manchester United into the shins of Givet, and it screws away behind for a corner to United.
Yes, they haven't got the cross in. Fabio, he's worked hard up and down this right-hand side in the first half as well, to be fair to the lad. His end product at times is poor. That was a poor one as well. It wasn't going anywhere, but he's hit a Blackburn player and gone behind for a corner kick. Giggs will take it from the right, in swinger, left footer.
Here it is, plenty of United presence inside that Blackburn box. 4 players near the penalty spot, 2 near the 6-yard box. Giggs' delivery then finds 2 Blackburn players, the 2 central defenders, Phil Jones and Samba. They headed it away, almost between them. Finds its way back to Giggs. Giggs into the box, shoots from a very tight angle and shoots straight into Olsen, who then clatters the ball himself into Evans, and it bounces away behind for a goal kick to Blackburn, who still lead 1-0 with...
And they're running and chasing and tackling, and they're making it very difficult for Manchester United, who've got the bulk of the possession. But Blackburn just seemed to be able to find a defender at the right time, and this time it was Olsen again who trucked back on the left-hand side and trapped first Giggs and then Johnny Evans.
And already over 10 minutes gone in the second half. Manchester United needing a point from this game. But at the moment, they've got a real job on their hands here. But how many times over the years have they been in this situation and turned things around? You know, we talk so often, don't we, about the ability they have to do that, and the way that they're able to get very late goals as well in games. Now I see that Morten Gamst Pedersen is being prepared by Blackburn, so it appears that the first substitution will be a Blackburn one rather than Manchester United. Blackburn with a free kick. Robinson near the centre circle, hits it long and straight down the middle onto the head of Ferdinand. Emerton plays it back in. Sambas after it. Kuszak comes, punches, doesn't get it away, and the ball bounces down, and Manchester United are able to scramble it clear.
Scramble is the right word. That's what they did then. They got themselves in a bit of a tangle.
Samba causing problems, and you have to say Kuszak again less than convincing. Here's Hoylett attempting to go between 2 Manchester United players. I think Valencia got the key touch there, and Carrick cleared it further away. Now Givet heads it forward. Samba is still up front, and Ferdinand very coolly side foots it away to the left hand side to Evans, who just hits it aimlessly away downfield. But I say aimlessly, Rooney has outpaced 2 of them, but Phil Jones, the teenager, sprinted over and put it out of play as the rain gets heavier.
Good play by Jones. Phil Jones this time, central defender. I thought Rooney just going to steal the march, really, and I think it was Hoylett there who was chasing back. But here comes the first change in the match.
And I think it is Hoylett who is going to make way. It is. So Pedersen will take the place of Junior Hoylett, who's done very well this season, but maybe just a little more experience that Pedersen will give them, and he has played a good deal of football in the central area for Blackburn this season.
I think he's got a little bit of an injury. The way he came off there, he was just holding his thigh a little bit.
Here's the throw for Manchester United then to Nani. Hasn't scored since February. On his right foot, shoots, it's deflected off Samba and behind. Could have gone anywhere.
Could have gone out. For the first time, Blackburn stood off there, and they gave him a chance, and Nani struck the ball well, or at least he appeared to do from this angle. Anyway, it's taken a deflection. Another corner to Manchester United.
Still 1-0 to Blackburn. Corner to Manchester United. Giggs to take it. Lots of movement in the box. Here it is to the near post, and again the delivery finds a Blackburn player. Jermaine Jones headed away out of play halfway inside the Blackburn half.
They've been trying to hit Vidic with these corner kicks, as they do, very regularly, and Blackburn are up for it. They're contesting those headers very well.
So United back in possession with just over half an hour to play. Paul Scholes, it seems, might be the first Manchester United substitute to come onto the field. Here's Fabio on the right-hand side. Fabio, Valencia found space. Valencia looks up. Here comes the cross. It's a low one to the near post. It's rattling around. Giggs with a shot, and that was brilliantly blocked by Phil Jones.
Super block.
And Blackburn hit it away long downfield. Jason Roberts is after it. Vidic plays it back to Kuszczak, who had to get rid of it quickly, and he did, with Roberts closing him down. Just chipped it away over the Blackburn forward's head. Blackburn coming again, given away by Jermaine Jones. Samba gets up high, and then Phil Jones is able to pick it up, and actually slices it. He slipped as well, and they are quite greasy conditions. It drifts away out of play for a throw to Manchester United. So 1-0 to Blackburn.
Yeah, the rain stopped now, and it has eased. It rained quite hard round about half time as well, but so John told there it is a little bit slippy.
So still the home side lead. Manchester United, we talked about their away form, didn't lose at all in the league this season until February, remember. But if you look at their recent record, they have lost 4 of their last 7 away games. And here they are behind again. They are probing though. Giggs to Johnny Evans, and now Nani on the left flank. Rain drifting down, and the blustery conditions are back, and it's Rooney on his right foot, and Rooney plays it to this side, to the right, to Fabio, who's crossed poor behind everyone in a red shirt.
That's the weakness of his game, Fabio. His crossing's not very good.
So United start again on the halfway line. Nani, back it goes to Vidic. Vidic clips it out to the left-hand side to Johnny Evans. Scholes is now there on the side of the pitch here with his hands on his hips. Manchester United still in possession, just about. Blackburn working ever so hard. Rooney, Valencia, this is all centrally. Rooney plays it through. Hernandez very nearly got it caught up underneath his feet. Then the cross from Evans, cut out by Jermaine Jones, and if he hadn't intercepted it, it would have landed at the feet of Giggs, 10 yards from goal.
Yeah, it's running from centre midfield. Here comes the change now. Scholes.
While they make the change, Alistair Bruce Ball has news of a goal in the playoff semi-final.
Equaliser for Bournemouth. Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield 1. An absolute screamer from a young man on loan from Manchester City, the cup finalists today. Donald McDermott picked it up 25 yards out and hit a rocket into the bottom corner. Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield 1.
Scholes is on for Fabio Da Silva, and I think he might have had a little problem as well, which is the reason for him coming off the field. So at the moment it looks like Valencia is at right back.
Well, what he does, he sort of tracks up and down the right-hand side because he's got the engine to do it. I've seen him do it before.
Cross from Giggs deflected into the hands of Robinson. So 1-0 to Blackburn. The other scores in the Premier League: Blackpool 3, Bolton 3. It's Sunderland 1, Wolves 2, and West Brom 1, Everton 0. FA Cup final commentary to come here on 5 Live.
Giggs has gone on the left-hand side, John, now. Nani's come onto the right. You've got Hernandez up front, Rooney just behind him, and Carrick and Scholes together in centre midfield.
Ball out of play for a throw-in to Manchester United. United, whose final league game is at Old Trafford against Blackpool on the final Sunday, but Blackburn coming forward, and a shot from Olsen, takes a deflection, but carried it closer to Kuszczak, if anything, and he held onto it comfortably. Another goal at Blackpool, Peter Slater.
Well, Jimmy will tell you it's 1953 all over again. It's Blackpool 4, Bolton 3. Cometh the hour, cometh the man. Charlie Adam, who's been outstanding for so much of the season. Lovely ball forward, 1-2 with Gary Taylor Fletcher, and then he walloped it into the corner of the net. Blackpool back in front. They lead Bolton by 4-3.
Fancy that scoreline on cup final day. You couldn't make it up, could you?
Only with Blackpool, son.
The land of dreams.
Yeah, well, that's what Blackpool's all about.
Well, Manchester United want to be the history boys today, but at the moment they're trailing by a 1-0, and now Scholes has committed a foul, virtually the first thing he's done in the game. Tripped Pedersen with another one of those challenges.
Two likely lads, those, Scholes and Pedersen together.
So a free kick to Manchester United, to Blackburn Rovers, and Robinson's going to take this from just next to the centre circle. Robinson will hit this away downfield, which he does now, high towards the edge of the area. Pedersen nods it infield, Roberts with his back to goal. Samba takes it up, but because Scholes was coming in with a challenge over, hits it out for a throw. The way that the scores are at the moment, incidentally, that leaves Birmingham into the bottom 3. We just want to check that. I've just actually been advised of that, but we'll have another look at that. But Birmingham certainly have got 39 points at the moment. Here's a ball from the right. Olsen, header, hits the post. So close to 2-0 Blackburn, and now Valencia's lost it, and Olsen very nearly had it back, but Valencia recovered well. And now Rooney up against Michel Salgado, pulls him over, and free kick Blackburn's way, because Rooney's arms were all over Michel Salgado there.
Yes, they were. There's the yellow card offence, every bit as much as the one that was given in the first half to Jermaine Jones. Referee got that wrong, but anyway, he's got the free kick right there for Blackburn, and what a chance that was for Blackburn. They could have taken the points with that. Lovely cross. Olsen beat Valencia on the back post and headed it against the post. It was nowhere. Kuchaki would never have stopped it.
Free kick to Blackburn. Jones plays it forward. Samba heads it across the penalty area, and Zonzi is there. Evans ushers him out of the box. Now with Blackburn on the right, and the ball comes in, and it comes off Ferdinand's head and very nearly flashes into his own net. That was just wide of the post.
Little bit of edginess creeping into Manchester United's back line now. Since Fabio's gone off, of course, there's no what I would call out and out right full back, and that was a little bit edgy.
Just to establish, if the score stayed the same, Blackpool will move alongside Birmingham on 39 points, and Birmingham would remain just above them on goal difference. So they'd be just outside the bottom 3. Corner to Blackburn on the left. Pedersen to take this. Pedersen chips it into the 6-yard box, and it's headed away by Vidic. Samba dangerously behind him. Hooked forward again to the edge of the area. And Manchester United win a free kick. Just the challenge that came in on Nani there from Jermaine Jones, who again is flirting, having already received a yellow card in this game.
They're really up for it. Underdog Blackburn are really up for this.
The header from Olsen had hit the post. The header from Ferdinand that whizzed just past his own goal, but still 1-0 to Blackburn. Manchester United having to dig deep in this game, and we've got just under 25 minutes to play. 5 Live. And the other scores, just to repeat: Blackpool winning 4-3 against Bolton, Sunderland 1, Wolves 2, and West Brom 1-0 up against Everton. Scholes now carries the ball towards the left hand side. Evans is there. Evans turns it back to Rooney. Rooney near the left corner of the box. Rooney's cross. He's there again, Samba with the header. Amazing how so often he seems to end up in the right place to clear away for Blackburn. And now Givet completes the clearance from just outside his own penalty area. And then, well, Ferdinand and Vidic, there's a collector's item. Misunderstanding, they go for the same ball and clatter into one another. Fortunately for them, they managed to get enough on it, and in fact, free kick was given for Jermaine Jones.
They ran into each other.
Well, that seemed to be the case to me. So Manchester United take it, and Rooney now. Rooney with Michel Salgado just charges through the challenge, but the ball runs for Blackburn. So it's intriguingly poised, this. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 0, and here's Darren Fletcher to take you through to the end.
Well, the better chances have fallen to Blackburn in the second half. They got the goal for Everton after 20 minutes. And on Cup final day, it's turning out to be a fascinating day in the Barclays Premier League, isn't it? Because at the moment, Chelsea are still in there and fighting for the Premier League. They've got Newcastle tomorrow lunchtime, and then Everton away on the final day. Manchester United still need a point to make sure of title number 19. Blackpool and Wolves both winning today, 2 sides threatened with relegation. Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield 1 is still a latest score in the League One playoff semi-final first leg, and Blackburn have got a free kick just short of halfway. Berbatov and Owen are available to Sir Alex Ferguson off the bench. The one change I'm surprised he's not made, Jimmy, is Evra at left back, because they love to get the fullbacks forward, Manchester United, and Johnny Evans has really struggled as a provider on the left.
And I can only believe that, that he feels that, he's got some kind of injury.
Yeah.
I can only believe that. Otherwise, he's one of the first names on the team sheet, Evra.
Blackburn free kick hoisted forward towards Pedersen, who for a couple of seasons had a a real knack of scoring in games against Manchester United. This time, though, he's unable to control it. It's gone behind. It's a goal kick to the ever-nervous Kuszczak in the United goal away to our left-hand side. Sir Alex Ferguson down there in a long dark coat and black trousers took the decision to rest Edwin van der Sar today. And the player he's put in, Thomas Kuszczak, has hardly covered himself in glory. Forward there by Giggs. Hernandez controls inside the penalty area. Out comes Robinson. Down goes Hernandez. Referee blows the whistle. What's he going to give? He's going to speak to his linesman, I think, on the near side.
I
He's going to speak to the linesman, Jimmy. He's surrounded by 4 Manchester United players, led by the captain Vidic, who's being dragged away by Schiffe. Now, what's Phil Dowd's decision going to be? He's done the sensible thing, because he's either going to book Hernandez for diving, Jimmy, or he's going to give a penalty. And he's just taking a little bit of time here to compose himself, to think about the decision, and to also speak to the linesman on the near side of the field.
I mean, it looked to me as though, from the angle we're at, it looked as though Robinson came out and definitely tried to get the ball.
Andy Halliday is the assistant referee on the near side, who Phil Dowd is talking to, and he's just saying to the referee, I won't speak to him until the Manchester United players back off.
Yeah.
So what's the decision? The decision is penalty. He's given a penalty, Jimmy. He's given a penalty, and now Salgado has come storming across to the near side. Samba is also speaking right into the face of the linesman. Well, they've talked about it for long enough. Phil Dowd has now booked Salgado for his protests, and Manchester United will have a penalty. Now, we're seeing the incident on the replay. The ball had gone. There's certainly contact between Robinson and Hernandez, but in my opinion, Hernandez had no chance of getting the ball.
He had no chance of getting the ball, none whatsoever. And what happened was he got a bit of a clip off Robinson, or he's run into his hand. They can run into the hand. All that matters is what the referee says, and the referee has given a penalty, or the linesman has made the decision.
Well, sometimes you can criticise a referee for an impulsive decision. Phil Dowd, the man at the centre of all this, has certainly taken his time to think it over. He's spoken to the assistant on the near side, who had a better view potentially than he did.
Yes.
And both agree penalty to Manchester United at the Darwin end. And Wayne Rooney has the responsibility to possibly score the goal to clinch a 19th title for Manchester United. Paul Robinson still unhappy, still talking to the assistant, who's now stood on the edge of the penalty area. Rooney's placed the ball down. The United fans stand behind Robinson's goal, and just to add to the tension, Rooney turns around and he'll re-spot the ball. Is this the moment then for Manchester United? Robinson stands in the centre of his goal. Rooney's ready. Phil Dowd blows the whistle. Here comes Rooney. Right-footed, scores! Blackburn 1, Manchester United 1. And is that the goal, controversially, that might win a 19th championship for Manchester United?
Could well be. Oddly enough, at a time, really, when they didn't look as though they were going to score. But they've got one there, and it's Hernandez, really, who miscontrolled the ball. Now I've had a chance to look at the replay. I can tell you what I really thought. Hernandez miscontrolled the ball to start with. He got a touch on. He was never going to get it. But definitely the goalkeeper Robinson did make some contact with him. And the referee warranted that was enough. Whatever, all that matters is it's 1-1. Rooney took the penalty well. Robinson had no chance of saving it.
That's Wayne Rooney's 15th goal of the season. He's gone 4 Premier League matches before today without a goal. And he's scored some really important ones during this campaign for Manchester United. And he's just scored from the penalty spot to make it Blackburn Rovers 1, Manchester United 1. Let's get the confirmed FA Cup final team news from Wembley, from Alan Green.
Yes, these teams finally confirmed rather later than normal. And basically all the players around whom there were injury doubts, they all play, including Tevez. Tevez is one of 4 changes for Manchester City. Tevez, Balotelli, Kolarov and Barry all come in for Zabaleta, Milner, Johnston and Dzeko. 2 alterations for Stoke. Sorensen, as he's done in the FA Cup, starts the game, replacing Begovic. And Etherington, around whom there was a hamstring problem, he's in for Whitehead. Huth also plays.
Thanks, Alan. Full commentary from 3 o'clock from Wembley, the FA Cup final, Manchester City against Stoke City. Here it's all about the Barclays Premier League Championship, and at the moment Manchester United have one hand on the trophy. Blackburn have made a change. They put on David Dunn and taken off Jermaine Jones, one of the two holding central midfield players. So it's a more attacking change by Steve Keane, and noticeably, Jimmy, David Dunn looks as though he's going to play just behind Jason Roberts.
I'm sorry, Darren, I can't hear you just in a moment.
Jimmy's lost as his headphones are gone. We'll get those fixed. So Blackburn 1, Manchester United 1. I can confirm that David Dunn is playing just behind Jason Roberts. That's the change. Sir Alex Ferguson now very visible on the edge of the Manchester United technical area. It would be a 12th title for him as the Manchester United manager, and he will have shared all 12 of them with Ryan Giggs, who is still out there along with Paul Scholes, two of Sir Alex Ferguson's more trusted lieutenants. United give the ball away though. We've seen enough from Blackburn in this second half to suggest that they can score again. Salgado, they've hit the post, remember, through Olsen. He should have scored as well, and Kuszczak has looked anything but safe and secure. Headed down there by Pedersen into the Manchester United box, controlled by Scholes, and then Nani can play it forward to the man who scored that really important goal from the penalty spot, Wayne Rooney. Giggs on the left-hand side. 15 minutes to go at Ewood Park on 5 Live. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 1. At the moment, United in possession of the point that will make them champions with a game to spare. And might just have a bearing on the bottom as well, because if they do win the championship today, then you wouldn't expect too strong a United team on the final day against Blackpool, dare we say. Rooney's cross into the middle. Nani should have scored. Nani should have clinched the title there and then from 4 yards. Not enough contact on the ball, and it flashes right across the face of goal and wide. Jimmy Armfield.
Beautiful pass from Rooney. Absolutely beautiful ball down the right-hand side, and he didn't give Blackburn defenders a chance really to get back in their own 6-yard box. He played it early. That's what did it. He played it early, and really Nani, as Darren told you there, came sliding in. Just a touch, that would have been enough. You're asking me about David Dunn coming on. Yes, I think they need to do something, Blackburn, now, and he obviously feels the manager, that he needs a little bit more continuity in the middle of the field. You just play behind the central striker.
At the moment, the way it looks at the bottom, West Ham would stay on 33. Wigan 36. In fact, we'll get back to that because there's been another goal at Sunderland, and Wolves, one of the sides we're talking about, involved. Conor McNamara.
Sunderland 1, Wolves 3. George Elokobi with the header. Wolves fans absolutely ecstatic. Hundreds of them tried to rush onto the pitch. The stewards are trying to contain them. The way things are going, Wolves could be moving up a couple of places today in the table. Sunderland 1, Wolves 3.
Thanks, Conor. Certainly would take Wolves on to 40 points if they hang on and win that. Blackpool at the moment heading on to 39 along with Birmingham City. Blackburn would have 40 if they get a draw here, and it would mean that Wigan and West Ham are just starting to slip away. Here's another change, the final one for Steve Keane. Off comes Chris Samba. Keith Andrews is going to be sent on, and talking to people being sent off, there's been a red card at West Brom. Dave Woods.
There has. Everton's Billy let it off, only on the pitch for a matter of minutes. A challenge on James Morrison. Even Morrison seemed to suggest to the referee that the red card was harsh. It looked harsh, but Everton down to 10 men. West Brom lead 1-0.
The way the results are at the moment, it does guarantee it's going to be one heck of a finish, and you'll hear all the twists and all the turns on 5 Live Sport next Sunday as the Premier League reaches a thrilling climax at the bottom with at least, well, certainly 6 sides, maybe 5, at the moment 6, but maybe 5, all in danger of dropping into the Championship. It does promise to be quite a day. Full match commentary tomorrow at 4, Wigan West Ham. Before that, commentary teams at Kilmarnock Rangers and Celtic Motherwell for Helicopter Sunday. And on Monday and Tuesday of next week, we've got the Championship playoff second legs, both of them scoreless after the first 90 minutes of those matches. Here it's Blackburn 1, Manchester United 1. 12 minutes to go with the FA Cup final to come this afternoon on 5 Live between Manchester City and Stoke. The headline team news, you've just heard it from Alan Green. Tevez and Barry both start for Manchester City. Etherington and Huth fit enough to start for Stoke. Throw into Blackburn on the far side. Salgado will take it. And the Manchester United fans behind Robinson's goal away to our right have suddenly found their voices once more, because they've got the goal at the moment and the point in their possession that will lead to a championship for them. And they've got a throw in now, Jimmy, on the far side. You wonder whether the circumstances of the goal and the chances Blackburn have failed to take, whether that's just maybe knocked the stuffing out of them, that penalty from Rooney.
Well, I don't think it knocked the stuffing out of them, but it would just be a bit of a problem for them now. They've got to be careful themselves. We made the point earlier on, didn't we, that a draw would probably suit both teams.
Yeah.
Little caution, more caution I would expect now.
Sir Alex Ferguson, and just to kind of fly in the face of that, he's going to send on Berbatov. So a striker is on his way on for Manchester United. Just over 10 minutes of normal time to play. Forward comes Phil Jones for Blackburn in these blue and white half shirts, playing from right to left in the second half. And Manchester United get it back again. Here's Scholes. Scholes just outside his own penalty area, and so calm and unflappable in possession of the ball, so hot-headed when he's trying to win it back for his team. Scholes again, that first appearance domestically for Manchester United since that red card in the semi-final against Manchester City. Good run by Valencia into the feet of Rooney, then out towards Valencia again on the right-hand side. Makeshift right back in the second half following Fabio being taken off by Sir Alex Ferguson, and United have got a throw in, and they're going to make the change, and they will take off Ryan Giggs, I think it is. Is it Ryan Giggs? No, it's Nani. It looks like number 11 on the electronic board. It's actually number 17. So Berbatov for Nani is the change. 29,867 the attendance here at Ewood Park. So 3 strikers, Jimmy, indicates Sir Alex thinks he needs another goal.
Yeah, I thought Berbatov might have come on a little bit earlier, actually, because he now try and control that game, you know, just behind Hernandez with Rooney.
Rooney's cross deflected and plucked out of the air by Robinson. Sorry, Jimmy.
I always think that formation with Berbatov and Rooney just behind Hernandez, there's a lot of power there, a lot of football strength, a lot of know-how.
Scored 5, didn't he, Berbatov, in November, the day that Manchester United beat Blackburn 7-1. He's the Premier League top scorer, Berbatov, with 21 goals, which is remarkable when you think he's only scored twice in his last 14 games. This partnership between Rooney and Hernandez has really been the catalyst post-Christmas to lead Manchester United into the position that they're now in. And they've got a goal kick away to our left-hand side with 9 minutes to go. There won't be a trophy presentation today. If they hang on and win the game, United, that'll be at Old Trafford after the final game of the season against Blackpool next Sunday. Ferdinand in possession on this right-hand side of the field. United playing from left to right in their red shirts and black shorts. Rooney, who scored from the penalty spot. The spot kick controversially awarded by Phil Dowd after Robinson's challenge on Hernandez. It certainly took the referee and the assistant long enough on the near side to decide what it was going to be.
Yeah, you can only assume, I was going to make this point, Darren, that he didn't see enough to give a penalty. That's why I think he went over to the linesman.
I'm not quite sure the linesman saw that the referee didn't,
well, he was
to convince the
on.
linesman that it was a penalty. Certainly from the angle that we've seen, it looks extremely harsh against Robinson. Pedersen on the halfway line for Blackburn. Now Andrews to Nzonzi, and then Nzonzi back towards Jones. You can kind of see it creeping into the Blackburn psyche now that they're quite happy to take a point from the match and get to 40. They don't want to leave themselves open, do they, Jimmy, and get nothing from the game.
They know 40 will be enough.
Yeah. Long ball forward by Gife. That's controlled by Ferdinand. Rooney now to Valencia. Such a flexible player, playing at right back, and looks really comfortable there, does the Ecuadorian. That's a long diagonal ball towards Berbatov that's picked up on the far side by Salgado, and then his pass goes astray and out of play for a throw-in on the far side.
A little bit of the psyche has dropped into Manchester United then when the ball went over the top for Berbatov. I noticed that Giggs and Carrick and Scholes didn't belt forward to support him.
It's not quite Austria-West Germany in 1982, but it's got a similar look to it, hasn't it, at the moment? Blackburn 1, Manchester United 1. Elsewhere, Blackpool 4, Bolton 3. The closing stages on Sports Extra. Sunderland 1, Wolves 3. What a big 3 points that's going to be for Mick McCarthy and Wolves, who have hit form at just the right time. They, like Blackburn, if it stays this way, will have the magical 40 points at the conclusion of the game. West Brom 1, Everton 0. Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield 1. Don't forget tomorrow, Kilmarnock Rangers and Celtic Motherwell from 12:30. And then Wigan West Ham from 4 at 5 Premier League games taking place in total. The FA Cup final underway in just over half an hour's time from Wembley. Alan Green and Mike Ingham will bring you the match on 5 Live. Manchester City against Stoke.
Interesting now, we've had 8 passes from Manchester United, 8, and every one of them has stayed in their own half. Scholes, Ferdinand, Vidic. Blackburn have not come for them. They're just playing the ball around in their own half. I think that's 9 passes. 10.
Keep counting, Jimmy. I think this could go on for a while. It's gone from Evans to Vidic to Ferdinand to Scholes, and then Scholes gives it to Valencia, and then Valencia back to Scholes, How many are we now, Jimmy? Scholes now to Ferdinand.
I think it's about 15.
Back to Scholes again. Well, you can hear the jeers from the Blackburn Rovers supporters, but there's no real effort from their team to actually try and win it back.
Well, they're happy to get the point, aren't they?
Yeah.
I've seen this scenario before, but I think whether Blackburn can settle for it, really, because Manchester United will play this around. Scholes and Ferdinand, have been round the block a few times. They're just settled for the point here. One's enough.
Michael Carrick out to Ryan Giggs on the far side. And then back it goes to Vidic. It's a milestone day, by the way, for Ryan Giggs, because this is his 613th start for Manchester United, which equals Steve Perryman for the most for a single club.
That's actual start
in the history of English football, which is quite an astonishing achievement for Ryan Giggs. The 600th appearance as well in the top flight for Rio Ferdinand, who's in possession now. And now the ball is back with Scholes and across the back line to Nemanja Vidic. We must be up to at least 50 now, Jimmy. Blackburn person's not been anywhere near the ball, let alone in possession of it.
Yeah, they've gone forward now and they've lost it.
Blackburn have got it back again. There we go. 4.5 minutes to play. Of course, a win for Blackburn would guarantee their safety. Forward to Roberts, edge of the D. Roberts with his back to goal. Now he's able to turn and play the ball out to Pedersen on the left-hand side. Steve Keane with his hands in his pockets down below us looking on. Blackburn 1, Manchester United 1 with 4.5 minutes to go. A scoreline that would satisfy both managers immensely. And Zonzi's got the ball now, just short of the halfway line. Steps back into Manchester United territory and gives it to Emerton, who coolly and confidently slotted Blackburn Rovers in front on 20 minutes with a sweeping half volley. The equaliser controversially scored from the penalty spot by Rooney, if you're just joining us, after Robinson was adjudged to have fouled Hernandez. There was contact from Robinson on Hernandez, but the ball was already out of play and Hernandez had no real opportunity to get control of it. Some might say, well, there was enough contact for it to be a penalty. Others will say it was a soft one given by Phil Dowd. If you've got a thought on that, by the way, give the guys a call on 606 a little bit later on. They'll talk to you about it. Here's Nzonzi on the halfway line.
They've had now Blackburn have had about 10 or 12 passes there put together and they're still coming back. What they're doing, just to tell the listeners at home, they're actually playing the ball around in their own half and Manchester United are letting them have the ball. They're quite happy for it to be there and Blackburn are happy to have possession of the ball.
Now it is West Germany, Austria 1982. 1-1 and we've got 3 minutes to play. John Murray's just handed me a league table. As it stands at the moment, West Ham will be down if they fail to win at Wigan tomorrow. You'll hear the game on 5 Live from 4 o'clock. Birmingham are at home to Fulham tomorrow. They're the other side that have had to sit and watch all this happen today. West Ham bottom 33, then Wigan 36, Blackpool 39, Birmingham 39, then Wolves and Blackburn on 40, which is the magical number. Here we've got 3 minutes of normal time to play, and it's 1-1 on 5 Live between Blackburn Rovers and Manchester United. Manchester United 2.5 minutes plus injury time away from a 19th English top flight championship, and Sir Alex Ferguson 2.5 minutes away from a 12th championship as the manager of Manchester United. And all the noise you can hear at the moment is coming from the Manchester United supporters away to our right hand side. They've got a big banner that's making its way from the front of the Darwin end to the top that just says top of the perch, which of course is a reference to Sir Alex's quote where he said that he'd like to knock Liverpool off their perch. That was his objective when he took the job all those years ago at Old Trafford.
Yeah, it's not very interesting at the moment. The ball's just being played around by both teams in their own half of the field. Valencia's got it just in his own half. He's played it back to Carrick. It's gone back to Valencia, back to Ferdinand, and Blackburn are not going after him. They're just settling for this. It's not very entertaining. Some of the crowd are booing it. Guys, really, how long have we got? 2 minutes of normal time to go. So Manchester United are 2 minutes away from the championship.
And also, if you look at it logically, Blackburn are probably a couple of minutes away from being secure in the Premier League for next season. Yes, so there's no real reason for Blackburn supporters to boo, or for United supporters to boo, because it is a result, whether you like it or not, that is perfect for both clubs.
Yeah.
Scholes in possession for Manchester United. Plays the ball out towards Evans and then gets it back again, does Paul Scholes. It'll be a 10th title for Paul Scholes today. Not quite as long in the tooth as Ryan Giggs, but He's still been around the block a few times on numerous championship teams for Manchester United. Into the final minute here, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Wayne Rooney just stood with his hands on his hips, 5 yards away from Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yes, I played in a match which ended like this when I was playing for England against Bulgaria in the World Cup in Chile, and we both needed. They needed a point, so they didn't go home with nothing.
Okay.
We needed a point to qualify, and this is how it finished.
Yeah.
Very similar, in the last couple of minutes. But this has been going on now for quite a while.
30 seconds of normal time to play. FA Cup final kicks off in about 26 minutes' time. You'll hear it all on 5 Live from the BBC, the home of live sport. That big game tomorrow, West Ham United, after today's results, should they stay as there are and there's no twists in the final moments of the match, as West Ham United can be relegated tomorrow. In fact, they will be down if they fail to win at Wigan. You'll hear the whole game live from 4 o'clock on 5 Live. Manchester United with the ball inside their own penalty area with their captain Nemanja Vidic. 4 minutes, 3 minutes. Our engineer's got one finger too many. 3 minutes of stoppage time to play according to the scoreboard. 4 minutes according to the board we've just seen down below us.
Yeah, it's a big...
it's pretty irrelevant though, Jim, because neither side's going to try and score during that period.
It doesn't look like it the way things are going, unless somebody tries to be a little bit difficult. David Dunn, I think, is getting a little bit impatient for Blackburn. One or two of the supporters are waving their hands. They're quite happy about this for the Blackburn fans. Another year in the Premiership for them. But Manchester United, I suppose they'll be thrilled as well.
Well, 3 or 4 weeks ago, if you would have said to a Blackburn fan, the home game against Manchester United will peter out like this with your team picking up the point they need to stay in the Premier League, they would have taken it.
Well, that's right, because when he took over, Keane from Sam Allardyce, a lot of people raised questions about it, and he didn't start too well. Things went badly to start with. Why is Sam Allardyce gone? People were saying, but here he is now. He looks as though he's kept Blackburn in the Premiership, and that's what he was taken on to do.
Well, some have suggested this is not a vintage Manchester United team, but the statistics are pretty clear. They've only lost 6 of 58 matches in all competitions. They've been unbeatable at home this season at Old Trafford. The away form has been a bit sloppy. They've got the worst away record of a championship winning team since Liverpool in 1977, but they've done enough at home to make sure they can lift a 19th title, and they're seeing out time now with 90 seconds of injury time to play and in possession of the ball with Antonio Valencia.
Look at the crowd down on that side, leaving now, going out in the hundreds on the far side.
Yep, they're leaving in their droves, the Blackburn supporters. We'll get a fairer picture in a few minutes of how many Manchester United fans are actually sat in the home sections here. Full time at Sunderland, Wolves have won by 3-1, so Wolves are on to 40 points, and that should be enough to keep them in the Premier League for next season. That's back-to-back wins against West Brom and Sunderland for Wolves and Mick McCarthy. Into the final minute here, 3 red balloons have made their way onto the Ewood Park pitch. Manchester United are still keeping the ball inside their own half of the field. The reason why we've not been commentating very much is the fact that nothing has been happening here other than Manchester United passing the ball around inside their own half. Blackburn and Wolves will go into the final day on 40 points, so there will still be a little bit of work to do, but I think if you're relegated this year with 40 points, you'll be pretty unlucky. Vidic just outside the penalty area. All eyes now on the referee. Phil Dowd is standing in the centre circle. He's taken a look at the watch. Sir Alex Ferguson punches the air. Phil Dowd blows the full-time whistle, and for a record-breaking 19th time, Manchester United are the champions of England, and for the 12th time, with Sir Alex Ferguson as the manager, Manchester United are the champions. Wayne Rooney's penalty, enough to get them the point they need here at Ewood Park against Blackburn, and Manchester United are the champions.
Yes, and I think, frankly, they deserved it. Over the season, I think they've had their ups and downs, but they've won it, I think, on the strength of that amazing home form. 17 wins, 1 draw, no defeats, 45 goals, only 10 against. Away from home, not so convincing, only won 5. And here today, frankly, I never thought they were going to win, strangely enough, only in the first few minutes. But they got the goal, and in the end they got the point. That's all that mattered.
Well, they're all bouncing up and down just outside the centre circle. The Manchester United players who have started today, and some of the other squad members who are down there in their team suits just bouncing up and down. I can see Edwin van der Sar in the middle of it all. Raphael, who's not part of the squad today, just alongside his brother Fabio. And now the Manchester United players, led by Rio Ferdinand and Michael Carrick, will make their way down to the Darwin end, which is a sea of red and white. The flags are waving. Lots of banners have been unfurled at that end that simply say 19, because now Manchester United are the most successful team with regard to winning top-flight championships in the history of English football. Sir Alex Ferguson's down there. He's won 12 of them now. Ryan Giggs has got his 12th championship winners' medal today. A 10th title for Ryan Giggs, for Paul Scholes. And they're all down there celebrating, Jimmy. And they might not have done it with the style and panache of some Manchester United teams down the years, but they've been mightily effective.
They have, and you've got to give credit to Alex Ferguson for his amazing record and what he's done with the players. He's brought one or two players in who haven't done it. You know, I'm thinking of people like Bebe and Ilbertan, but nevertheless, he's still got a very strong squad, and I think he's the man really who should get most of the credit.
Sir Alex Ferguson is down there embracing his players. He's just walked arm in arm with Ryan Giggs, one of the main components of a whole host of championship winning teams, into the penalty area down below us at the right-hand end of Ewood Park as the Manchester United players and supporters celebrate. They've won the championship for the 19th time. Brett Emerton with a goal in the first half for Blackburn. A controversial penalty after Robinson fouled Hernandez, dispatched by Wayne Rooney to give Manchester United the point they need to win the championship. Full time at Ewood Park. Blackburn Rovers 1, Manchester United 1. United are the champions.
1-3-1 at Sunderland. West Brom have beaten Everton by a goal to nil. Blackpool 4-3 up on Bolton. But before we go there, because that is a huge game at the bottom, Jimmy, looking at it again, it probably looked on balance. It was just about a penalty. I mean, strikers now leave their leg in if necessary, don't they?
They do, and I think he did, to be honest. That's what I think he did. But the referee, what I couldn't understand, it was such a vital decision, and in the end he was leaning on his linesman, you know, to make the decision for him. But nevertheless, give Rooney credit, he took it, and he's belted it away. And let's face it, I think Manchester United have deserved it.
Jimmy, it's hard enough to win the title once. It's extremely hard to defend the title, but to win 12 in the time that he's been there, Sir Alex, and rejuvenate the team time after time after time is extremely hard to say just how impressive that is, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And the other thing is, too, he's managed to start changing the team round a bit this year as well. People like Hernandez is coming the team, Fabio's coming the team. You know, he's managed to change teams around while he's doing it. And that, more than anything, the continuity of it all is really down to good management, and you've got to give him credit for that. A lot of people don't like his style, but nevertheless, I've always said Alex Ferguson is a real street fighter when it comes, you know, to football. And in this dog-eat-dog world, which is what it is at the top end, you know, he's the man really for the job.
Thank you very much, Jimmy. Whatever you think of Sir Alex Ferguson, and plenty of people have an awful lot of opinions of him, nobody, love him or loathe him, can deny what a brilliant manager he is, as Manchester United have a 19th record title. And Blackpool, Jimmy will be listening to this. What a significant result this could be, Peter Slater.
Absolutely. 4-3 Blackpool have beaten Bolton. On FA Cup final day, they've reprised the result from one of the most famous finals ever, the Matthews final of 1953. It was a game which swung one way, then another. Bolton led after 6 minutes through Kevin Davis. 3 minutes later, DJ Campbell equalised. Good goal that. Jason Puncheon then put Blackpool ahead for the first time. Matt Taylor equalised 5 minutes later, ball in off the inside of the post. Then just before half-time, Charlie Adam provided the cross for Campbell's second. 3-2 at half-time. Sturridge equalised from Lee's cross before Charlie Adam, who else, played a 1-2 with Gary Taylor-Fletcher before cracking a brilliant left-footed shot into the net. So Blackpool live to fight another day, off to Old Trafford, and what a way to end their home season. Result here at Bloomfield Road, Blackpool 4, Bolton Wanderers 3.
I will bring you the bottom of the Barclays Premier League table when we've had all the significant full-time results. So let's go to Sunderland next and Conor McNamara.
It's finished Sunderland 1, Wolves 3. Jody Craddock, Stephen Fletcher and George Elokobi with the goals for Wolves. Sunderland Sessegnon briefly at the game at 1-1 in the first half, but Wolves have definitely come good at the right time of the season. They're finishing so strongly, survival remains in their own hands with just one game to go. Sunderland 1, Wolves 3.
And let's finish with Dave Woods at the Hawthorns.
West Brom 1, Everton 0. No relegation battle for West Brom, of course, and now they're in the top half of the table. The only goal of the game, Yusuf Malumbu in the 9th minute in the second half. Everton reduced to 10 men. Billy Letninoff sent off for what seemed a harsh decision by the referee for a challenge on James Morrison. Even Morrison seemed to complain that it wasn't worth a red card. Lively game given the lack of circumstances. West Brom 1, Everton 0.
Right, the key bottom of the table placings. West Ham need to win tomorrow against Bolton. If they don't, then West Ham will be relegated. West Ham 33 points with 2 to play. Wigan 36 with 2 to play. Blackpool 39 with 1 to play. Still in the bottom 3 despite that win. Birmingham 39 with 2 to play. Wolves and Blackburn 40 points each with 1 to play. That's the way that it looks at the bottom. Wigan West Ham, a massive game tomorrow as we go to Bournemouth, League One playoff semi-final, the first leg, and Alistair Bruce ball.
All square at half-time in the tie. Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield 1. A really good fight back by the home team in the second half here. Donald McDermott on loan from Manchester City, screaming in a low shot from outside the box to cancel out Kevin Kilban's first half header. Huddersfield keeper Ian Bennett made a late save from Royce Wiggins' free kick to preserve Huddersfield's long unbeaten run. He also saved Danny Ings' penalty in the first half. A big talking point, a penalty he conceded by fouling Wiggins. He got away with a yellow card. Bournemouth 1, Huddersfield 1.
Let's hear from Mike Phelan right now. Manchester United champions again. He's with Alistair Yeomans at Ewood Park.
Well, Mick, you had to dig deep, but Manchester United don't do things simply, do they?
No, we never do, and we knew that it would be a very difficult day for us, really. To go one behind was disappointing, and then you're sort of searching to try and find that goal that can win you the championship, and luckily for us, we did.
How long was that? What it must have been 30 seconds when you were waiting to see whether the linesman was going to give you that penalty.
Yeah, it's agony sometimes, when you're sitting there and you're not in control of anything. But to be fair to the referee, he wanted to ask for another opinion. I think he'd already made his opinion, really, and it was good that he chose the correct one.
Now, Mick, over the season you've characterised never being beaten. I remember Aston Villa, I remember Blackpool. The team has never given up. And some people say it hasn't been a vintage United side, but you can point and say, actually, we never give up.
No, we never give up, and any team that we put out onto a football field that plays in red, we expect them to work hard and we expect them to produce football of a high quality. Sometimes we've had that, sometimes we haven't, but this is a great team. This is a good team. There's a good team spirit. The players really, really wanted it after a disappointing season last season, losing the league, and I think it's just deserved. We've got where we wanted to be. We've always been there or thereabouts, and it's a credit to the players and to the staff that have put in a good shift all season.
And just finally, there's been an awful lot of football played over the years, over the 100 years or so, and this 19th title, that's a fair chunk of football history that you've made today, Mick.
Well, history's there to be broken sometimes. The manager's always striving to be a winner. He's always wanting to push on and break new barriers, and I think he's done that today. And as you can see, this one that he's won today is as good as the first one he's ever won, and he'll enjoy himself, the players will enjoy themselves, and it's a great reward for the club and for the supporters.
Mick, thank you very much indeed. Mark, back to you at Wembley.